$6,000 of gross profit. It's 852,000 of annual revenue, or 71,000 a month at a 35% net profit. Okay, we got a high net profit because we don't have much overhead because we're just off the tools. We're running production. We're doing sales. So now we put in our average job size, our close rate, our lead conversion rate. So Daniel, what's your average job size? If you got that ready, 6K. And what's your close rate? 35%. Cool. And we'll just put lead conversion at 70. So at a $6,000 average job size, we need 11.8 jobs per month, 35% close rate. We need 34 estimates a month, 70% lead conversion. That's 48 leads a month. So this is the marketing plan that we need in order to make $300,000 off the tools. But now if we move up to having a production manager, so now we have a $6,000 per month PM salary, more overhead, right? Now we need 84K per month, which increases the jobs that we need from 12 to 14, right? And increases our lead requirement from 48 to 57. And then we can go down to having a PM and a sales rep, so we're less involved as well. And then we can get our production, labor hours, and painter requirements from there. So unless you have a plan, you're never going to be able to get to that point where you're making 200, 300, 400, $500,000 per year, right? You're just going to be working really hard. You're going to be stuck in that hamster wheel. So let's get back to it. What are the 7 key chess moves to scale your business from, around 250, 500, even a million, all the way up to 5 million per year without burning out? Because that's what's important, is really being able to do this without burning out. Move number 1, get off the tools. Earlier, when Tanner asked the question, if you guys have production happening without you, a lot of you said yes, and I love to see that. That is super inspiring. But there are some of you who need to hear this, because having a painting business, scaling your painting business, is not about painting. In fact, painting is the least valuable thing that you can do as a business owner. Okay? It is the least valuable thing that you can do as the owner of a painting business. You're making about 50 bucks an hour painting. If you're still on the tools, getting off the tools is the highest priority thing that you could possibly do. I recently did a podcast episode about this specific thing. If I were to start my own painting business again today, I would never paint even for a day. Eric Foz, I think he started his painting business 2 years ago. He didn't paint even for a day, right? It's because it's not a good use of your time. 2 painters will replace your income. The gross profit that 2 painters will generate for you will replace the amount of money that you could make painting full time. Pretty low bar to get to. And with this move, as well as all of the moves, it's important to jump before you're ready if you want to grow quickly. If you wait until you're ready, if you wait until all the lights are green on the drive to work, you're never going to leave the house. So Josh, right? Let's go back to Josh's story. What was his distraction when it came to this? His distraction at the start is that he thought he had to do everything himself, distracted by daily tasks, right? Everyone throw fire in the chat if your phone has already lit up today with a fire that you need to go put out. Type fire in the chat if someone's already texted you a problem today. No fires here. Good work, Jeff. Daniel, Nick, couple of fires. PM, love it. Good stuff. So we got a few fires. Oh, now we got some more fires. Okay, guys. Lots of fires today. Not good. If you're getting distracted by daily tasks, you're going to get pulled back in. So what was Josh's solution? One-on-one coaching helped him delegate, freeing up 25 plus hours per week, gave him the confidence to make that move, and he unshackled himself from the job site so he could focus on the things that truly mattered in his business. Question for you guys. If you're still in the tools, what's the first hire that you make? Do you hire a helper or do you hire a lead? Just throw that in the chat. What's your first hire? Helper or lead? All right. Answers coming in. You guys nailed it. The answer is lead. The reason is if you hire a helper, you're still shackled to the job site. You need to supervise, you need to tell, you need to micromanage. Brad, PM, you got it. But if you hire a crew lead, someone who's responsible and capable enough to be on site by themselves all the time, now you can go do other stuff. You can run to the paint store. Hopefully you're not doing that. You can go do estimates. You can talk to customers. You can go talk to your strategic partners. You can get commercial bids. You can do these things that are worth way more than being stuck to the job site. All right, number 2, this one can be controversial. Own your marketing. So what do I mean by that? If you really want to scale your business, you need to be able to generate your own leads yourself. If you're buying leads and relying on agencies, I like to say you're building your business on borrowed land. You'll have no ability to scale and grow your business and crank up your lead flow if you don't know how to generate leads yourself, right? You're not in the painting game, you're in the sales and marketing game. And then once you get that, you're in the customer service game. Painting is just a byproduct of what we do. Lead generation is core to your business. It's actually core to most businesses other than the ones that have like government contracts, which is probably not many of you. So you need to be able to generate leads on your own and then delegate that to internal team. Relying on others for your leads is suicide. Has anyone ever bought a lead from Angie's only to realize that that lead was not estimatable? Customer didn't want that, even want an estimate. The crazy thing about Angie's and these lead sharing sites is they'll have a lead for $250. Say Mary wants to repaint the inside of her house. So they'll sell, 5 contractors this lead for $250. Now, before anyone even talks to the customer, Angie's already made $1,250 on this lead, right? And now it's up to you to bid against 5 guys to maybe get an opportunity to get a job that might not even exist. So what kind of racket is that? You need to be able to master basic marketing channels before you outsource them, right? Just like most other tasks, you should know how to do them before you outsource them, or hire someone who knows how to do them. And it's pretty crucial if you want to get to $1 million and beyond to use a CRM like DripJobs to track your leads and return on investment. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but if you are a member of Painter Growth, we just got this done this month. Thank you, Eli. You get 20% off DripJobs for life or for as long as you're a member. So, hey, something to consider. Saving money already. So what was Josh's distraction in this stage of his business? It was buying leads, and he'd gotten sold into an expensive agency that ended up overpromising, underdelivering, and he had no recourse, right? Not good. So what was the solution? Working with his coach, helped him scale his 2 best channels himself with his own, well, not with his team, which ended up 5xing his leads in 3 months. I mean, and you heard the result in his sales. He focused on number 1, his strategic partners, and number 2, his door-to-door team, right? And that was it. No Facebook ad agency, no Google ads, no SEO, he had a website, it wasn't a fancy website, but that was it. Those are $1 million channels right there. And what we have here is another treat that I'm going to be sending you guys, give you guys a chance to get at the end here is our door-to-door mini course. In this door-to-door mini course, you'll have 11 videos and 14 resources on exactly how to start and scale a door-to-door team. So like everything from objection handling, how to get started, what they need, how to be successful, how to hire, how to pick the right neighborhoods, how to get interiors versus exteriors versus stucco projects. Just step by step how to get that, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this toolkit at the end of the session. Cool. Move number 3, guys. Hire a virtual assistant. I can't remember who it was. Maybe Aiden a little bit later is going to be talking about VA tips and tricks and stuff like that. I've personally hired over 30 remote employees by now. I've helped countless of our owners also hire remote employees. I don't like the term VA. People know what it means. I like remote employee, just an employee that lives somewhere else. Not a big deal. You'll be able to offload 50% of what you do for $5 an hour, right? If you're working on a spreadsheet or your computer and I came by and said, hey, Leah, can I finish that spreadsheet for you for $5? You give me $5, I'll finish all the data entry. Probably be like, yeah, here you go, right? Now imagine being able to do that every single hour, 40 hours a week. You're going to get so much done that you didn't even know you could get done virtually. And it's never too early. If you're just starting your business, you're doing 5K, 10K per month, you should be honest. You should be getting a virtual assistant. How you do this is you list your low value activities. List the things that are the lowest value that you're doing on your computer and the highest amount of time, whether it's data entry or calling clients or scheduling jobs or calling leads or whatever. Then you can bring on a virtual assistant for 800 to 1,000 per month full-time or 400 to 500 per month part-time. And you're just going to delegate one thing at a time. Pick the thing that takes the most amount of your time, that is the least valuable use of your time, and just delegate that. Record a Loom video of you doing it, then do it with them on a Zoom call. Then you're going to hand it off after that. And you will be amazed how much you can find that they can do for you, and you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. Cool. And then we have this thing called the VA playbook. And it's pretty wild. This is the SOPs of virtually every task that a virtual assistant can do for you. And we have built the SOPs for you that you can just take and use and then hand off. You'll have to modify them a bit with your software stack and things like that. But basically getting you completely started here with all of your SOPs for your virtual assistant when you're ready to do that. Cool. So Josh's distraction in this phase, you saying, I'm not ready. I don't have enough work. I can't afford bringing on a virtual assistant. I'm not techie enough to manage a virtual assistant. I don't know how to do it, right? So what was the solution? We placed a Pinner Growth. We placed a virtual assistant in his company for him and coached him through how to use them effectively, giving him all of the SOPs and guidance along the way, which immediately bought back 15 hours of his time per week. Plus, it's not just the stuff that he was doing that was taking up his time, but it was the stuff that he wasn't doing that he should have been doing, right? You'll be surprised at how quickly you can fill up a remote employee's time. Throw the term VA in the chat if you are ready to hire a VA, or if you already have one of the two. Let's go. Mike got one. Rich, there we go. Drew, you want one? Oh, sorry, Jeff, I want one. Drew got 10. There we go, Des. Logan, need one. Daniel, hired it 2 in the last week. I love it. Rich, need another. Yeah, Michael, at the end, I'll give you the VA. I'll show you how to get the VA SOPs. So if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. This is it. This is move number 4. Know your numbers. Okay. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. I like this term, are you a 6-figure hustler or are you a 7-figure CEO? Right? I even know some of our owners who have joined who have gotten to $1 million per year, but they've hustled their way to $1 million. Maybe they have a PM, but they're doing so much themselves. They have no systems, no formal SOPs. They're firefighting every single day. That's not a way to a profitable, healthy, valuable business, right? So number 1, clean financials support scaling confidently. If you know your numbers, it makes decision-making so much easier in your business. You want to track your cash flow, your job costing, and your profit and loss performance, right? This is really easy to do with a bookkeeper. If you're less than 250,000 per year, not a lot of bookkeeping required. You should still learn some basic financials in order to grow a business. You're going to need it eventually. If you're doing more than 250K per year, have a bookkeeper, right? Get a bookkeeper. Going to be really important to have that. It's worth that investment, whether it's like 500 a month or something like that to begin with. Then you want to build a 3-month cash reserve. So what is a cash reserve? A cash reserve is the amount that you need to cover all of your overhead expenses. Okay. Some people call it a runway, but if your overhead expenses are 30,000 per month, you want to get about 90,000 per month in a bank account, save for a rainy day in case shit hits the fan. And that's going to build business security. And you want to spend time on this every month. Spend time on your money. Spend time on your financials, right? Would we do this if we weren't making money? If we weren't making profit, why would we even be painting houses? Probably not, right? So if we can spend a little bit of time on the reason why we're in business, which is the profit that we're trying to make, we're going to be able to generate a lot more profit as a result. Right. So back to Josh. What was his distraction during this? I'm too busy to bother with numbers. I'll just sell some more. Throw a yes in the chat if you've ever thought that before. I don't need to worry about the numbers. I'll just sell a few more jobs and everything will work itself out. Yeah, Andres. I mean, that's probably Isaac. Isaac, I don't know anyone else with a Muma last name. Yes, yes. Let's just sell a few more jobs and everything will work out. So what was Josh's solution? We helped him understand the basics of his financials, implement systems around his money, job costing, piece rate, charge rate, and this understanding allowed him to increase his pricing and his margins soon followed. So move number 5, management layer. Right now we're getting from growth stage now we're getting into the growth stage, $1 million plus level. You need a management layer. And just like Brad Elson was mentioning in the chat earlier, his first hire would be, well, he said PM is to get off the tools. My first hire would be a field marketing manager, then a sales rep, then a PM, and let the rest do the work. But you need a management layer. So if you ever want to scale, you need to delegate more complex things. You need to be able to delegate more and more complex things. So I don't know if you ever heard me say this before, but your ability to scale your business is limited only by your ability to delegate more and more complex tasks. So what that means is as your business grows, as you do more revenue, as the things that you have to do as the business owner become more complex, the things that you have to delegate will be more complex. Okay. And um, as you grow, you're going to eventually find your ceiling, something that is no longer delegatable within your skill set. And then it's up to you to decide, is that your ceiling, or do you level yourself up so you can now delegate that, right? At the start, the things that you're delegating are things like painting, things like picking up paint and ordering paint, moving ladders around, right? These are pretty easy things to delegate. But as your business grows, you're going to be delegating customer communications, marketing initiatives, purchasing decisions, uh, leadership, right? Recruiting. These are things that are more complex to delegate. But if you want to scale beyond where you are right now, you have to delegate more. When you were a painter, for the guys who started off as painters, um, did anyone ever wonder what their bosses did all day? Like, hey, you're off the tools now. You must just be sitting back in your truck all day, sitting with that AC on. Anyone ever think that before? Right? It's like, oh, to be young and naive again. The thing about business is the more things that you delegate, you'll find that you'll get busier, right? You'll find higher value things to do. They play golf. There you go. Everyone has their thing, right? But as you guys know, getting off the tools is just the beginning. And if you're hungry about growth and you truly want to scale your business, you're going to find those more and more complex tasks to first do and then delegate until you get to be like Jason Paris, where you have a $15 million painting business and a group of companies and you just run in Alaska all day. So you can't do it all, right? So the PM comes on to handle the scope, the time, the budget, and the quality of the project. The sales rep comes on to handle the estimates and the client acquisition. The field marketing manager comes on to drive lead generation at the local level. And these three roles are critical to scale beyond $1 million per year. And like I said a few times already today, you need to jump before you're ready, right? So Josh's distraction, bringing on a management layer. What was it? I can do it better. Nobody cares as much as me, and I still can't afford it, right? Has anyone ever thought in their business, something has to be done right? I just got to do it myself, right? Throw a yes in the chat. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I thought that before too, unfortunately, right? I guess what that really comes down to, if you believe in extreme ownership in your business, what that comes down to is your um, number one ability to recruit and hire and retain really good people and rock star talent. And then number two is your ability to train and delegate effectively, right? Because there's a difference between delegating and abdicating. Abdicating is just throwing to a task to them and hoping they can catch it. Delegating is working with them through a framework to make sure they can handle it successfully. When you delegate a task, the result of that task should stay the same or go up, right? It should never go down. So what was Josh's solution? Coaching helped him understand the finances behind the roles and gave him the confidence to pull the trigger, right? He quickly realized that he couldn't be the bottleneck for any of the processes in his business. And I believe this even today, running Painter Growth, we have, 30 employees and we have lots of processes, lots of moving parts. If I'm ever the bottleneck for something, it's very likely going to fall through the cracks. And that's not because I'm incompetent, but that's because I'm trying to juggle a million things at once. And if someone relies on me for a repeatable process that doesn't have to be me, it's likely not going to get done. Move number 6, bring on a GM, right? I want to hear from the top dogs here. Who has a GM in their business right now? GM. There you go, Brad. We only one. Awesome. Let's go. Nice work, Brad. Completely remove. Oh, Isaac, GM. Really? I didn't know that. Awesome. So we want to remove yourself from operations. Okay. This is hard to do, guys. Business is not easy. Business is hard, but you got to choose your hard. What hard do you want? To scale beyond 2 million, really, a GM, while not mandatory, will make it considerably easier, right? Hire an experienced leader when you're ready, which will free up 90% of your time to focus on visionary aspects, these high leverage things, these $5,000, $50,000 an hour activities. So you're not running around firefighting, because as much as even for the guys who have a PM, they have a sales rep, you have an admin, you still fight fires from time to time. And we need to free up that brain space completely so that you can look at your business as more of an asset instead of a liability. You want to align their compensation with your long-term goals, ideally around profitability, and that's going to lower your risk, right? But it is going to be scary. It's going to be scary to delegate some of these really important things. And you guys probably have a lot of emotional attachments to your business. I mean, I know I do. So delegating some of these things can be really hard and emotionally draining. So what was Josh's distraction? I don't want to lose control, but my business is different, right? I'm different. No one else can do what I can do. Guys, yes, they can. You're doing a million things. You're just getting them to be a GM of a painting company. You can get someone to be a GM. You just need better systems. So, what was Josh's solution? Getting a GM is Josh's next chess move that we're working on this quarter with them, and we're planning to help him place one by the end of the year. He's on his way to doing 5 million this year as his second year in business. So, absolutely slaying it. Move number 7, scale horizontally or regionally. And I put this as 7 instead of 6 because I think it's important that this happens after you have a general manager in place and your main squeeze is solid. So the order of operations is more, then better, then new. First of all, what you're currently doing, is there a way that you can do more of it? If you're doing interior residential, can you just do it, do more of it, right? Don't start looking at new when you could just do more interior residential. Then can you do it better? Is there a way that you can increase efficiency, increase profit, get costs down, right? And then new. Once you've exhausted more, you've exhausted better, then and only then should you be looking at new. So expand to new markets. If it makes sense for your business, scale either horizontally or regionally. The reason why I say horizontally, when you scale vertically, vertical integration, that means like you're now making your own paint, which I don't think we want to do. But scaling horizontally means you're adding new services, and scaling regionally means you're adding new territories. So once your main business, you're out of operations, is majority of the time, now we can focus on adding territories or adding services. But if we're trying to add territories or services while we're still running production in territory 1, that's like trying to be a mechanic on an engine that's currently running. And
5 minutes, Mike.
you got it. All right, don't expand until your main squeeze is solid. So recap, look at that, Tanner. 5 minutes, we got to the recap. So we're doing good. So number 1, get off the tools. Number 2, own your own marketing. Number 3, hire a virtual assistant. Do it now. Number 4, know your numbers. Number 5, management layer. Number 6, get a general manager. And then number 7, scale horizontally or regionally. Okay. So going back to the pathways here, guys, I want to ask you, what stage are you at? Just throw it in the chat, guys. Are you at startup, early, growth, maturity, or enterprise? Let me know where you're at. Growth, growth. Between early and growth, growth, early, all good. Love it. Beautiful, guys. Enterprise, there we go. Stuck between early and growth. Yep, very common to be stuck there, right? So my goal here was to get you guys clarity on what you need to do to move out of growth, because that's really the people that we work with are typically in the late early stage or in the growth stage, and they really want to get to that maturity stage. And that's really what we specialize in. And you can do a million plus without a plan, but it's going to suck and it's not going to be sustainable. So in your business, do you want to build a cash cow, something that you can just rake money in forever for the rest of your life and just support your lifestyle? Or do you want an eventual exit, right? And it doesn't really matter which one you want. The actions that you need to get to both stages are the exact same. You need to build a great profitable business that doesn't rely on you. Then you want to act like a grandmaster. So plan, delegate, then scale. So what I want to just ask you is a couple of questions right now. So imagine the relief of not having to make every decision or doing everything yourself, right? If you could bounce an idea off of a trusted advisor when you're considering bringing on a PM or making one of these really significant moves in your business. So that's what executive coaching with Pain and Growth is like, right? Is having a 7-figure business coach to bounce ideas off of weekly, supporting you with these key decisions, giving you all the resources and assets that you need to make those decisions, and then giving you the guidance to do them confidently. And then having an incredible community of other successful painting contractors to connect with and learn from. Again, anyone in the Pain and Growth community, give us a shout out right now. And on top of that, a plan customized for you to help you get to the next level and the level after that, right? Because it's not just about what's in front of you, it's what's a few steps in front of you. Life-changing guidance, literally for less than the cost of a couple of bedrooms a month. right? Which is kind of bonkers that this is accessible for you guys right now. So I'm going to end off here with one more video.
I struggled. I made ends meet, but that was all I made. Last year we did like 49. Yeah, 49,000. I had no idea how to market. No systems, and it was just me. And I have 3 kids, and 13, 8, and 3. I was almost ready to go back to a factory. I hated being in that factory for 10 years. I had to figure something out. Probably Christmas, you know what I mean? I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do anything for my kids. Being demoralized, being defeated. I felt completely defeated. Now in December, I'm going to make an investment in this thing. Like, this is it. And so we went with it. As soon as I started implementing just the small things, I mean, my business took off like I didn't even imagine it. Selling, boom, 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 boom. And it was insane. $75,571
in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is more than you produced all year last year.
All year. Yeah. It's crazy. It's so exciting, man. Like this has changed my family. Yeah. We feel excited, comfortable.
It's wild how your life can change in less than 2 months.
It's insane. I didn't think this would happen. Figure out a way, but you better be fully invested.
Love it. Logan is.
I struggled.
Cool. So if one day you'd like to have a $5 million a year business, or even just $1 or $2 million per year, just $1 million business, right? I want to offer you a free business growth audit, right? I showed you those pathways earlier. I want to figure out exactly where you're at and how to get you to that next stage. So on this growth audit, we're going to understand where you are, give you the next 2 to 3 chess moves that you need to make in your business. No pressure sales tactics, just value, giving you your growth plan to get to the next stage. And this is really only for you if you're between 250K and 2 million and you're looking to get to the next level quicker. If you're below 250, send me a message after and I'll get you the resources for that. Now, as a bonus gift for the first 15 people who schedule a call today, and the link is in the chat, you're going to get that business plan builder that I showed you. So you're going to get this business plan builder, a copy of it to play with. You're going to get the door-to-door mini course for free that I showed you, exactly how to start and scale your door-to-door team. And you're going to get that virtual assistant playbook with all of the processes that you need to bring your virtual assistant on. So that's a total value of about $2,500 just for scheduling and attending that call with my team. Then for the first 5 owners who are serious and are ready to actually change their lives this week, the first 5 owners who join us will get a free virtual assistant placement. So we do VA placements. I saw some of you guys talking in the chat earlier about virtual assistants and where do you get it? What kind of agency do you get? There are agencies out here that charge $4,000, $6,500, $10,000 to place a VA. We have a list of qualified virtual assistants that are ready to go. And look at this, guys. These applicants, this one came in today. These ones came in yesterday. These ones came in the day before. Like, these are fresh virtual assistant applicants ready to work for you and immediately. And so for the first 5 owners who join are going to get that free VA placement from Painter Growth. Cool. So if you click the link in the chat now, or you text the word call to this number on screen, 310-595-6716, we'll book you in and you'll be entered to win these amazing bonuses. And if you guys join me tonight, 5:30 Eastern, I'm doing the takeover. We are going to be having some fun. We're going to be hanging out. You can have a beer if you want. It's evening. It's after a long day of learning. So bring a beer or near beer if you're not drinking. All good. Live business planning. So we're going to be doing business plans live with a number of you. Going to be super fun. We're going to show you how to leverage AI. Not one speaker here is talking about AI. I mean, maybe in their sessions, but their topics are not on AI. We're going to show you the top 10 use cases that we're using AI right now in our businesses. I'm going to show you a tool that we just built. It's an AI proposal generator. It is absolutely going to change the game, and we're launching it today during our takeover. It's crazy, guys. And we're going to show you how to maximize virtual assistants in your business. So we'll see you guys. That's with me and my team at 5:30 Eastern time tonight, right after Brandon Vaughn on the last session. Thanks for having me, guys. We'll see you there.
Go, Mike. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you guys. How about that? Give it up for Mike. And the way we give it up in freaking Zoom is through emojis. So drop some emojis for Mike to let him know that he was impactful. Guys, listen, we got a takeover session today, 5:30 to 7 p.m., right? So this is for those of you that make it all the way through. So make sure you're there. Mike's going to bring his team. I just want to give a quick testimony. I went in Orlando to speak at Mike's event. I've been to events. Just the community, the camaraderie, the environment, super professional, super high level. You know, everyone's just learning from each other. Just imagine just like being able to hit up a group of 10, 15, 20 people, maybe in your micro group of Painter Growth with questions. and especially people that have already done the things that you're trying to do. So, guys, check out Painter Growth. Take Mike up on his offer. He's given the first 15 signups for that offer a really cool bundle. So make sure you're one of the first. Speed kills, guys. So thank you, Mike. We appreciate you. Next up, we got Jason Phillips. Now,
Thank
before
you,
I,
Tanner. Appreciate you,
what's that?
brother.
Yeah, brother. Take care.
And
Next up, we
Tanner,
got
knock it
Jason.
down, or Jason, knock it down, man.
Guys, we got Jason Phillips coming up, guys. It's rapid fire value today with Paint Biz Blitz. The whole purpose of this is a course correction mid-year. You're going to get a lot of information. Don't be overwhelmed. Just take notes. Listen thoroughly. Make sure you're here throughout the day. Invite a friend. That helps us out. We appreciate it. So before I do that, guys, remember we got Blitz 90 is the promo code today. If you want DripJobs, that's 90 days free. That's 3 months, no money from you. You get the software, you get the training. Our team will even train you for free during that time. So please take advantage of that. We'd really love to have you as a customer. Second, we got another message from Mike and the Painter Growth team. He sponsored the entire event. What a guy, bringing value. So we had a little bit of audio issues, guys. So if you could please let us know if you're hearing it okay. His team's like literally working on it behind the scenes. So I hope you can hear it, but let's give it a shot.
Do you want to see the 5 stages that every painter goes through as they grow their business and where 90% of them get stuck forever? Are you still painting full time? Are you still texting and emailing quotes, hoping that the clients reply? Are you still driving job to job, wondering if your guys showed up? Cool. I want to help you figure out what stage that you're really in and determine the exact red flags that you need to look for and the key priorities that you need to focus on. Stage 1, 0 to 100K per year, the startup hustle. Right? The goal here is to get consistently booked up and busy. And the biggest red flag is for you to say, it's just easier if I do it for myself, right? You're probably on the tools, probably relying on subcontract work, still checking in on crews in person. You might have a few subs that you use every now and then, but you're still fighting for every job. You're still grinding, but it's not a business, it's just a job. Stage 2, 100 to 500K, the trap zone. The main goal here is to start delegating and install real systems. And the biggest red flag is that you're still texting estimates, chasing referrals, and doing everything yourself, right? You might be off the tools now and you're putting out more quotes, but you're still doing everything. Sales, marketing, moving equipment, checking on painters, talking to customers, everything other than the painting, right? And you might still be relying on Angie's List or word of mouth for all of your leads. You don't really have a CRM, no sales system, yikes. Stage 2 is where guys get stuck for years or decades. They think that they're building a business, but really they're just a better paid employee. Now, stage 3 is 500K to 2 million, and this is the CEO wake-up call. The main goal here is to hire leadership and step out of the daily chaos. The biggest red flags to look out for here are that you've hired leaders, but you won't truly hand anything off. You won't hand over responsibility. You brought in a production manager or a sales rep, but they're texting you all the time. You might as well just be doing it yourself because they don't know what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. You haven't installed a real process and you are still the decision maker for everything. Stage 4, 2 million to 5 million. This is the expansion phase. The main goal of this is to fully step out of production and expand regionally. Biggest red flags are margin shrinking and burnout creeping in. Right? At this point, it's about scale, new crews, new markets, maybe some commercial work, but if your systems aren't tight, your growth is going to expose your cracks. And then finally, stage 5, we have 5 million plus. And this is the owner's box. The main goal here is to become a board level owner, prep for an exit or an acquisition. And the biggest red flags here is if you're still making day-to-day decisions, you need to get out, right? Because this is your opportunity to build true wealth. You're not in the truck. You're not on the job sites. You're scaling through leadership or you're selling strategic partnerships for real money. But if you're still texting your sales guys about the leads, you're not here yet. And as a reference, the revenue numbers are just approximations. They don't necessarily exactly equate to what level you're at. It's more what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Take James, for example. James cruised through stage 1 and 2 by focusing and executing on the right moves, not just more work and getting busier, right? Smarter work, not just about working harder. It's about working on the right things, making smart, calculated decisions and calculated risks. Do you want to know why some painters like James grow 10 times faster than others? Right? It's not talent, it's not hard work, but it's the decisions that he made that I'm going to showcase to you in the next break.
Right on. Now, if you guys don't know what's going on, Mike did a little mini series. So every commercial is going to build off of the other one. And I think he's got a giveaway at the end. So stick around for that. So thank you, Mike, for the high level sponsorship. It made it really easy for us.
Let's
We
go.
love you. Thank you, brother. Next up, we got a very good friend of mine, Mr. Jason Phillips. Jason, you're an inspiration to myself and to many. Your heart for servitude is something that I admire. Your charismatic approach to business is just, it's awesome. You've built an empire and you're sharing what you've learned with everyone you come in contact with. If you guys don't know, Jason is heading up Contractor Freedom. He holds events in his home base of Texas where he brings in some of the best painting contractors to learn his methodology on how he's been able to scale beyond $9 million. I'm not sure the exact number at this point, but he scaled it. But what's most impressive, and this is something he told us at the PCA Expo, is that his son is now taking over the business, which I think is probably something that he's most proud of. Maybe he'll tell you that himself. So Jason, floor's yours, my friend. You guys are in for a treat as always with Mr. Jason Phillips. So let's get Jason in the game.
Thank you, Tanner, for having me today. I'm excited to be here and talk about something I'm very passionate about because it really moves the needle in the lives of people, of contractors. And I'm very proud of my son. I'm proud of my whole leadership team. These days, I go into the office, probably about 6 hours a week, have a few meetings, but other than that, my leadership team has everything down. And hey, by the way, Mike, amazing presentation, man. You nailed it. That was really great content there. So thank you for sharing that.
Thanks, brother. That means a lot.
So I'll share my screen here, guys, and here we go. So, most contractors, they start their business with dreams of more money and greater freedom. But most of them, they end up as slaves to their own companies, like a circus ringleader spinning plates, juggling tasks, or, a superhero trying to do it all, or even more commonly, the firefighter always putting out all the fires that you don't have people equipped for or don't have people for at all. And so, you end up working long hours, drowning in to-do lists and juggling responsibilities, all in your head where all your systems are, and wondering why you feel, exhausted and stuck. And ultimately it can look like this, working 6 to 7 hours a day, or 6 to 7 hours a day. Hey, yeah, 6 to 7 days a week, 12 to 16 hours a day, missing T-ball games, dance recitals. This is what I did in my early days, guys. Then you have people problems, people with no desire to grow, dishonest, Monday morning flu, people always calling in sick, tax problems, sleep problems, worry, health problems, weight gain, fast food, blood pressure, health just goes down the drain, stress at home, and then just living on hopium. And, I speak to contractors all the time, and just real world example. I talked to yet another contractor yesterday with this exact pattern. He's doing $1.5 million in revenue, and he's doing everything in his business except the painting. Well, great. He's not doing the painting, but his plate is still overflowing with stuff to do. His systems, they're all in his head, and his gross profit is painfully low. And if you're going to hire the team of people that you need so that you can delegate responsibilities and get out of the day-to-day, like I am out of the day-to-day, you've got to learn how to sell your projects for what you're worth. Okay. And so I want to share with you some categories. Let's start at the very bottom. Let's talk about gross profit margin on your sales. Very low is 0 to 40%. That's a danger zone. You're working hard and profits are leaking. Now, if you go up, the next one up is low, which is very typical, 40 to 50%. And realistically, what's more typical is 40 to 42%. And, you're surviving, but you're still underperforming. And this is where most contractors that are stuck in what I call contractor prison, this is where their gross profit is, in the very low 40 percentile. Better is when you get 50 to 60%, you're strong profitability, you have good control, pricing and production. But excellent is when you get 60%, 65% plus. That's the elite territory where your systems, your pricing, and your sales are all dialed in. And the thing is this, if you're operating in that, 40 to 50% range, especially closer to the 40, you're not generating the gross profit to hire the quality people to delegate things to. So it ends up being you and the painters, and maybe you and the salespeople. And the more you can sell for hire, you can delegate out all of the key responsibilities of your company, but you have to start with the gross profit. And guys, I just want to ask you, if you can relate to any of this, just throw a thumbs up in the chat and let me know. Are you stuck in one of those places? Do you relate? See if I can find the my window went away here. There we go. Yeah. So contractors, there's this growth question. Most contractors say, well, I want to grow my business. But I want to ask, grow what? What do you want to grow? Do you want to grow revenue? Do you want to grow profit? Well, hey, that sounds good, right? But you know what's better than profit? It's freedom. I know a lot of contractors who are making really good money, but they have no freedom because they're literally chained to their businesses. Every time I ask a group of contractors, if you had to choose and you could have more time or more money, which would you pick? And every single time, almost unanimously, they say, I need more time. I'm okay with the money. I want more freedom. So that's what happens. Your business will just suck your time. It will suck your time away. So most guys end up chasing revenue because it's visible, it's measurable, and frankly, it feeds the ego. But chasing revenue, it's like chasing a mirage. You'll grow your vanity and lose your sanity. I'm going to say that again. You will grow your vanity and lose your sanity. And there's an old saying in sales, and it says, revenue for vanity, profit for sanity. And it holds true. So that's the thing that just gets you stuck in contractor prison, because you don't have the money to hire the people that you need, regardless of volume. So our businesses, we want to build them by freedom. We want to build them for freedom, but we end up trapped by the business. And we tell ourselves these things like, I'm too busy. No one else can do it. I'll just do it all myself. I have an endless to-do list. I'm working weekends again. Profit's tight, but hey, we're growing. And a lot of them say they hate sales. But friends, here's a reality that I want you to understand. The sales process is the greatest leverage point in your business. The sales process is the greatest leverage point in your business. Now, many contractors have level 9 craftsmanship, but level 2 sales skills. I regularly meet contractors that are trying to hone their craft, but they're already amazing at their craft. They're already amazing. But what they're terrible at is sales, so they can't get paid what they are worth. I want you to start getting paid what you're worth. I'm going to assume that you're doing great work and that your clients are super happy. But the reality is most contractors are winging it. They don't have a real sales process. And when you wing it, you fall into the same old traps that keep most contractors stuck. And here's some common mistakes that contractors make that keep them in prison. One, selling the way that you buy. That's called, value judging, that people's values are just like yours. Talking way too much. I said some, but really most contractors talk 70 to 90% of the time at a sales appointment. The best talk less than 50% of the time. We'll talk about why that is in a minute. And if you're a detail-oriented person, you probably are using industry jargon and technical talk to homeowners that just don't care about it. They don't care about the techno mumbo jumbo. They don't even want you in their house. They just want their house painted and they want you gone. They want it beautiful again. And, you know, some on the other end of the spectrum, they're just relying on energy or charm to close deals. And those things work some of the time. And then others are just, well, it's just a numbers game. I need more leads, more leads, more leads, more leads. More leads is not the answer. More leads is just going to bring more headaches. And again, we go out and we diagnose the project, you know, oh, we've got, you know, efflorescence here, alligatoring here. We're going to, you know, we start figuring out how we're going to fix the project, but we don't ever diagnose the person. We are people serving people. And if you're not diagnosing the person, then you're missing out on a lot of sales. Okay. A lot of guys, gals, they're presenting price on the front porch. You're losing deals. You're not going to build value on the front porch. Even worse, emailing your estimate, I hate that word, and hoping for the best. Stop giving estimates. We'll talk about what to give here in a few minutes, and start presenting at the kitchen table, not on the porch. And all of these things just combined to make you seen as a commodity, where the homeowners, the prospects, they have no other choice than to just buy based on price because you haven't differentiated yourself. And so here's what most contractors end up doing. You know, you start following these sales gurus online, you pick up some word tracks, closing tips and rebuttals and hacks, but it's like having a 1,000 piece puzzle all scattered across the table and you don't have the box top with the picture on it. You don't know how it all fits together. You don't know where to start. You don't know what it's supposed to look like when it's done. And if something doesn't fit, you just toss it aside and you keep going. That's not a system. That is noise. Okay, so I'm going to give you real quick the F7 steps. This is like the box top to the puzzle, the 1,000-piece puzzle. It's the roadmap, the process. It's the why behind the words. So the first step, it's just focus, fast resolution, faith, fix, finances, forward, and finish. Those are the 7 steps. I'm going to bring some meaning to those. We're going to come back to that here in just a minute. But first, I got to take a sip of my Topo Chico mineral water. I want to compare with you a mindset shift that top performers have. Top performers see themselves as project consultants or professional salespeople rather than estimators. You know, estimators, an estimator gives a quote or an estimate that could change, but a project consultant delivers an accurate written proposal. That's much different. I don't want an estimate when someone comes to my house. Do you? Would you rather have an accurate written proposal? How about when you're getting your car work done? Would you want an accurate written proposal or some general estimate that might double? An estimator focuses on price and square footage, but a project consultant focuses on pain, transformation, and trust. Those are 2 different things. An estimator uses generic industry language, but a project consultant uses client-specific language that's based on their DISC profile, their personality profile. An estimator assumes that the prospect, you know, understands the value, but a project consultant uncovers and explains the real value so that they can see it. An estimator leaves decision-making entirely to the client, but a project consultant guides the client to a clear decision. An estimator rushes through the appointment because they want to get home before the traffic hits, but a project consultant controls the process, sets expectations. An estimator tries to fit their budget, and a project consultant creates clarity around investment and scope. An estimator wears many hats typically and has no real sales training. But a project consultant follows a repeatable professional process like the F7. So, you know, why do most contractors not have a sales process? They think that quoting is the same as selling. They think that being a good person or knowing the trade is enough. and they've never been trained in a process, and they're running on instinct, not intention. And friends, what if I told you that your craftsmanship doesn't close the job? I'm not going to say it never closes the job, but what really closes the job is your sales process. Nothing happens. Nobody gets to see how amazing your production team is until the sale is made. If you can't make the sale, you don't have an opportunity to show how good you are. And here's the thing every contractor needs to understand. The harder you push someone to agree with your viewpoint, the more likely they are to resist. This is called the persuasion paradox. And, we show up to appointments or estimates, if you will, and they, hey, why should I hire you? Well, we're the best. We're the best. We're not the cheapest, but we're not the most expensive either. But we're the best. Oh, we're the best. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it's just like there's a spotlight shining right on you instead of on the prospect. And the truth is, if you try to convince someone, it actually creates resistance, not agreement. And the F7 sales process helps you ask the questions that lead the prospects to convince themselves. Huge difference. That way you're pulling, not pushing. So what is a sales process? It's a good question. A sales process is a repeatable system for moving homeowners from curiosity to commitment, without pressure, without winging it, and without sacrificing your margins. It's your playbook for profitable, consistent growth, whether you're in the home still selling or whether you're scaling your team to be. See, most contractors are not selling, they're just showing up and hoping. But a real process, it gives you control, it gives you a roadmap to follow so that sales aren't dependent on your charisma, your mood that day, or even if the prospect likes you. Now, before we hop in a little bit deeper into the F7, these are the 3 pillars that it's built on. The first one is, to create a consistent, high profit sales system that anyone on your team can replicate, you need 3 things working together. The first one is your mindset, and that's your beliefs, perspectives of a project consultant rather than an estimator, a desperate estimator, a beggar. Do you ever feel like you're groveling for sales? You got to get your mindset right, your skill set, and that's your ability to lead the conversation, to uncover the true pain, and really to guide the homeowners, to a decision. And the tool set, that's simple. That's the F7. That's the scripts, the agreements, the roadmaps, and the process that make it all stick. And when you combine all these 3, you get max success. And the F7 sales process, it's not just a script. It's not a personality. It's a complete sales operating system for contractors built on mindset, skill set, and tool set. Okay, so here's the path to victory. Focus. We went over this once, but I want to show it to you again, then we're going to dive in. And during this step, we're going to get the focus of all stakeholders. I'm just going to roll through these because I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper to each one. So focus, fast resolution, faith, fix, finances, forward, and finish. Those are the 7 steps. And here's the thing. When you don't get the sale, you can go back and diagnose where exactly did it break down? Where did I fail? Did I fail to get the focus of the prospects? Did I fail to get a commitment from them that they need to get the project done here pretty soon? And once you can break it down, you can train your people or yourself on those specific things. So, for instance, the focus step. The goal of the focus step is to align with all decision makers. This is something that we do right at the front door when we knock on the front door. We want to make sure we have all decision makers, and we want to clarify the goals of the meeting, the expectations, and what success looks like. We may even say, hey, look, and if you like what you see, we'll go ahead and take the next steps. But if you decide that we're not right for you, no problem. We'll part as friends. Okay, and that's just setting a clear expectation that you're going to get a yes or a no at the end of the appointment. The second step is the fast resolution. And this is where we walk around the interior, the exterior, and we diagnose what's going on like a doctor. You know, we got a laser pointer, we got measuring tape and various tools, and we're diagnosing. And this is how we help them see that why now is the time to act, especially when you're talking about exterior projects where they've got peeling paint, rotten wood, you know, water could be infiltrating the house, things like that. And we want to kill the wait and see. Well, we're just getting some quotes. We may do this next year. The point of the fast resolution step is that they're like, no, we need to get this done. We don't need to wait on this. So, oh, by the way, the best thing to hear, one of our students said this after coming to one of our sales boot camps. He said the best thing to hear during the inspection phase is, oh, wow, this is going to be more than I thought. Yeah. So you're already raising up in their mind the price. This is going to reduce the amount of times you get the price objection. Now, the third step is faith. And that's where, you know, we want to differentiate ourselves from the industry. We're now in the home, we're having a conversation, and we're building belief in your company, in your values. And at the end, they're going to trust. They feel like they can trust you. They have faith in you that you're the right kind of company for them. Now, the fix step is like, how are they going to fix this problem that they have? And during this step, we're going to expose the risks of DIY, of chucking a truck, or average competitors, whatever that is in your market, and teach you how to kill those, so to say. And what it does is it positions, you know, your method as the only rational choice to resolve their problem, their pain, or build their dream. That's the fix step. And then the next step is the finances step. And this is where we present the investment, not the price. We present the investment and the payment options, and we reframe price objections confidently. This is where we'll get most of the price objections here is during this phase. And when you're hit with a price objection, most contractors, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to start dropping their price, trying to split the difference, or they just give up. And within 2 minutes, they're already driving away in their car, and they've just, you know, said that they're just price shoppers, telling themselves a lie. For the F7 students, this part of the conversation often takes 30 plus minutes, but they reel in a big fish. It's worth a little more time to reel in the big fish. Okay, now step 6 is that's the forward step. That's when they say, okay, let's do this. Let's move forward. So we ask for the sale, we sign the agreement, we secure the deposit, and then step 7 is we finalize the details. But most contractors skip straight to step number 5, and they just present their price. They walk around, they talk about paint, they drop a number and just hope they're going to get the deal. But what about trust? What about urgency? What about the emotional drivers that's driving the decision? Why are you even there? Why did they even call you? Why did they call you now? It's been peeling for years. Why now? And if you don't know how to ask the right questions, you're not going to find out additional information that can really help you help them. And again, the F7, we don't teach that we're out to sell. We're there to serve. And the better we can follow this process, the better we can ask questions, uncover their pain points, then we can serve them better and take care of them. Okay. So, the finalized step, confirm colors, walk through the next steps, the client roadmap. Okay. So again, this is the path to victory right here. It's focus, fast resolution, faith, fix, finances, and forward and finish. That's what it's about. And you can feel free to take a screenshot of that if you want. That's what we teach in the F7. Now, here's some common objections that you get when you're selling. First of all, if you're leading with paint specs and square footage and things like that, you're just inviting people to talk about price. But when you lead the conversation with pain and trust and transformation, price becomes less of an issue. And so the F7 process not only helps you overcome objections, but it really helps you prevent them before they even arise. That's way better. So some typical objections that, you might get are, we're getting other quotes, or I need to talk to my spouse, or we need to think about it. Can you just email that to me? Or your price is too high. Those are some specific objections that we address early on in the F7 sales training. And so with F7, you're going to learn how to handle these before you present the price and neutralize them before they even arise. That's the point of the previous steps, or one of the points of the previous steps. And here's the thing: objections are not the problem. Lack of process is the problem. So there's also some things we don't do in the F7. We don't try to fit their budget or sharpen our pencil. We don't drop our price to win the job. And we don't discount without getting something valuable in return. If we're going to ever make a price concession, we're going to get something for that. We're going to trade for that. And we may, it may be a promotional agreement. It could be something like that. They're going to give us some referrals, let us do a video. There's always an exchange of value. See, sales is an exchange of value. And if you just drop your price because they said they had a lower price, your original quote wasn't even real. So if you're going to drop the price, you need to drop off some of the scope of work, maybe a couple rooms or a promotional partnership or something like that. Get something of value in return. And see, friends, sales is just like football. It's a game of inches. It takes time. It takes patience, clawing to get a few more yards, a few more inches up the field, just so that you can continue to get first downs and eventually end up in the end zone. But if you don't do it right, you're going to end up turning over the ball and you're going to lose the game. So does all of this work? Zig Ziglar, the famous Zig Ziglar, he said there's 5 really obstacles to pretty much every sale. No need, no money, no hurry, no desire, and no trust. And the F7, it specifically addresses all of those. The no need, addressed in our step 2, fast resolution. The no money, addressed in our step 5, finances. No hurry, step 2, fast resolution. No desire, again, step 2, fast resolution. And no trust, step 3, faith. And if you follow the right process, you're going to sell more. You can raise your prices. You can hire the management that you need. You can get out of the day-to-day, get your freedom back, and everybody wins. And, so many contractors are afraid to raise their price. They just think it's not possible. Then they come to a sales boot camp and they start talking to some of our students about their closing rates and their gross profit margins. And by the way, closing rates, those are vanity too, because most people with a high closing rate have a super low gross profit margin. Of course, if you're going to give your work away, everybody will buy it. But can you sell value? Can you sell value? So, I want to share a couple student wins with you. For instance, Zach from Provision Painting, he was at 40% gross profit on his projects. Now he's at 61%. 60 to 61%. Think about that. And he's still selling like crazy. He's outpacing his sales goals for the year. Battleborn Painting, they increased their closing rate by 10 points and raised their price and increase their closing rate again, because they can follow the F7 sales process. Milan Painting here, a competitor of ours here in Dallas, Fort Worth. He came to a boot camp and he went right back, and he had a super detail-oriented couple that he had a quote out for like $42,000 or $45,000. And he learned to speak their language. They were both engineers, and he closed that deal. Otherwise, if he didn't know if he didn't pick up what he learned at the boot camp, that one would have slipped away. And none of these guys are born salesmen. You know, they just stopped winging it and decided that they wanted to follow a process, and they're making more money. They're all their companies are growing. And I could just give you story after story after story. And, you know, when some of you guys that are a little bit larger, you know, when you have a sales team or you're ready to hire your first salesperson, the mistakes can really multiply. And you've got these next points are critical, or else you can lose a lot of money. So here's some big mistakes that I see all the time. Hiring a salesperson based on gut feel and not using behavioral assessments to select the right people. Comp plans that destroy profitability, like oversalaried reps or paying on actually, I wrote that backwards, paying on gross profit instead of revenue. Because if you compensate your reps on gross profit, then they're never going to believe in your list price. They're just going to think that it's the cost of labor and materials. Not a fan of that. Having no control over your pricing. Reps can discount or negotiate on their own. No accountability for pricing errors. You know, commissions are not impacted. These are some big mistakes that will tank your profitability when you try to scale up. And no accountability for the expensive leads being wasted. Guys, these are some huge mistakes. I see it in contractors all the time. You've got to hire the right person. You know, you need it for sales. If you want to give your work away cheap, you can have just about anyone do it. But if you want to build value and sell high at a higher gross profit margin, you need to have lions out there. You need to have the right people. You need to have the right comp plan. You need to have the right accountability for them. And you need to have control over your leads. So avoid those mistakes. So, challenge to you guys. You know, have you ever left a home thinking, man, I nailed it. They're going to call me back. They're going to call me on Monday. I just know it. I've got this one. And then they ghost you? Happens all the time. Because what they want to do is they don't want to tell you the truth, that they didn't believe in the value. They didn't see the urgency, and they just wanted to be nice, and they wanted to break up quietly with you and softly and not create friction. You know, do you have a sales process that can be trained, tracked, and scaled? Trained, tracked, and scaled? Or are you relying on your charm or technical knowledge and just praying for the close? Guys, a sales system is the system that buys your freedom. Without it, your business will own you forever. And when I started raising my price, I could hire better people and delegate more things. And I've delegated almost every single thing out at my company. And I spend all my time, 90% of my time now, I just spend helping contractors like you, because far too many contractors are living in contractor prison. Their business is owning their life. The stress is spilling over into their marriage. It's making them bad parents, not bad parents in their heart, but bad parents because they don't spend time with their children. They're always thinking about work. And I want you to just imagine earning more from the same number of leads without having to spend more on marketing. Hiring a sales team and actually trusting them to close the deal. And buying back your time, your margins, and your life. If you want to get started with that, and if this spoke to you today, if you want to upgrade your sales process, and maybe you've already got a sales team, or maybe you want a sales team in the future, you need to put in a good sales system, and you need to own it, and then build a team that sells with confidence, with ethics, and gets those results. So our next sales boot camp is right around the corner in July. Every single time these sell out, because we have limited seating. We want to make sure we have a huge impact and add value to every single attendee. And we've got just, I think, 2 or 3 seats left at the one in July, and then the next one will be in December, date to be announced so far. But if you want to get going with this, for the Paint Biz Blitz viewers today, I've got a coupon of 15% off. And if you're ready to make the investment in your future so that you can sell higher, make money, and get your freedom back, use the coupon that's right there. Eli just put it in the chat. There's the link. You can click on that. And there's nothing like it in the industry. This system has the power to change your life. And with that, Tanner, that's it, sir. If anybody has any questions, be happy to chat.
Yeah, let's do a little Q&A. We got a few minutes, guys. First, I want to thank everyone for being here. 200 plus live, Jason. Phenomenal presentation. I fully endorse everything that you do. Guys, his events sell out, really quick. So if he's telling you there's only a few spots left, he means it. I think Nick was an attendee at one point, so maybe he'll attest to the value there, which is coming up next. So, guys, any questions for Jason that you'd like to ask while we're here? I'll read them off. Just drop them in the chat. Make sure you change your chat settings to everyone, so all the questions can be seen and answered. Any questions, guys, for Jason? I'll start, Jason, real quick, just kind of like off the cuff here. What is it that you talked a little bit about your breaking point, man. I think everyone in the room at PCA Expo felt that gut punch when that song was playing. I'm not going to ask you to sing it now. You got a couple people in here because I know this. They're coming home late for dinner. They're getting that, hey, your food's in the microwave message, right? Let's be real for a second, okay? They're missing baseball games. One thing Nick Kelly doesn't do, okay? Right? They're missing baseball games. Their kids are growing up fast. They're never home. I mean, dude, tell us a little bit about what that was like for you. Bring us all the way back. Just a snippet, because I want people to realize that you were that guy.
Well, I mean, I started my business like most of you guys. I just went out knocking on doors. I was completely broke. And I used the deposit on my first job to buy a power washer and hired a paint crew. And we were in business. And I mean, I was full of energy, and I was constantly marketing and knocking on doors and getting referrals and putting yard signs out, and business started growing. And before I knew it, the wife had a new SUV, and the kids had new shoes on their feet, but I was bankrupt on time. And my business was running me. I was working, 7 days a week. And I just had this moment. I won't go through that right now, but I just had this moment. What am I doing this for? Why? The most precious thing to me in my whole world is my wife and children, and they're getting my leftovers. And I'm like, hey, I need to build a team. And that was my wake-up call to build a team. And unfortunately, well, I mean, it was part of my path to get where I am today. The first team that I built was a weak team. And I liken it to a weak willow tree that doesn't survive the storms. And then we were doing it, 8 figures at the time. And I broke it down and scraped it off and started. And I said, this time I'm going to build an oak because I'm going to be a better leader this time. And through that is where I learned, I really went to school to be a better leader and a better business, a student of business. And I've been a student of sales for most of my life, but really getting serious about sales. And because it was one thing for me to sell, but it's another thing for me to teach my team to sell. And now that I've got a replicatable, trainable, repeatable system that I don't even run it anymore. I have a sales manager that handles all this, and boom, it's going. And they're selling like crazy. And so now it's okay. We've got, hey, you want to raise prices 10%? Okay, raise prices 10%. Did the closing rates go down? No. Okay, raise them another 5%. You just keep raising prices. And if your clients, your prospects see the value, you just keep raising your price till your closing rate goes down. Then when your closing rate goes down, well, then you do some more sales training, add some more value in the sales process. And most people are doing amazing work out there, but they're not getting paid what they deserve.
We talked
And I want
about
to
this
change that.
earlier, Jason, the 4 levels of value. That was in my talk. And the 4th level of value is creativity, ideas. And I think that's beyond the 1st level of value, which is implementation. And then the second of managerial unification, right? That's you getting the managers in place. And then communication, your message is being, you're training your sales team, you're training your leadership team. But the 4th level of value is really just hands off ideas, creativity. How can we make this thing? And it sounds like you spent a lot of time on the idea side of things where you can create ideas and systems that just scale. It's so much easier than scaling something, many years ago was. Can you talk a little bit about your risk tolerance now at this stage and, what that time looks like for you at the 4th level of value where this whole thing's running, but I guarantee you're not just sleeping. You're probably, seeing the vision. Tell us a little bit about that side of things.
Well, our vision is to be the most trusted home improvement company in the state of Texas, and we do more than painting. We also do roofing and gutters. Those 3. That's a great mix for us in our market, and we cannot become intolerant to risk because things are changing. The bigger your company gets, it's like a big cruise ship. You can't turn it around very quick, but if you've got a bass boat, you can turn it around real quick. So the risk for us is that we get lazy, and the small companies who are very agile can beat us. And so we've got our advantages. We need to work towards our advantages, but we're always taking risk. If you stop taking risk, you're just going to die. Your company will die a slow death, maybe a fast death, if you stop taking risk.
Yep. Makes complete sense. Jason, thank you, my friend. As always, grateful to have you. You're a blessing to the community. Guys, give it up for Jason. If you got any value from his talk, drop an emoji. We are coming up close to lunchtime, but that doesn't mean we're taking a break. Next up, we got Mr. Nick Kelly, guys. So drop some emojis from Mr. Jason Phillips so he can feel the love of you guys in here. Make sure you check out the link. Eli's dropping links in there. Guys, keep it going. Invite your friends. Invite your family. Invite anybody who's just sitting around today that in your circle that could use this value. Make sure you share it on Instagram, on Facebook. Help us out, right? We're doing this for free. This is to give back to you and, of course, introduce you to some industry leaders. So before we get started with my good friend, Mr. Nick Kelly, we have a word from our sponsor today, which was Painter Growth. The guy, I told Mike, I said, Mike, I'm putting on an event, and this event is going to be a game changer for painting business owners mid-year. Would you like to sponsor a few commercial slots? And Mike says, I'm going to just take all the commercial slots. And wow, what an awesome gift that was. So before I show you the commercial, guys, remember DripJobs is 3 months free. So all you got to do is go to dripjobs.com, sign up. In the coupon code box, put Blitz90, and you get to use the best software in the painting space for free for 3 months. So come on, grab that. So next up, we got Mike's commercial number 3. Now, if you're not following along, maybe you just joined in. Mike is doing a mini series throughout the entire event. So they're not just commercials, they're trainings interweaved throughout the event. Just massive value to take over the event and add commercials in between that are kind of like a mini course. So tune in for this, guys. Let me just make sure everything's set up properly on my side. Again, just making sure we're optimizing for video. And we're full screen. Audio looks good. Fire away.
This is video 3, and yeah, it's another ad break. Except it's not an ad. It's the part where we teach you what actually grows a painting business and stop you from guessing. Here. Let's talk about James. James was stuck at $10,000 to $15,000 per month for years, just like a lot of you guys. Working hard, doing everything himself, worried about hiring the wrong person, worried about taking a real risk. He reminded me of the quote, most people overestimate the risk of taking action and underestimate the cost of doing nothing. And also the quote, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Okay, so
How did he go from $15,000 per month to $100,000 per month, right? It's not by working harder, it's with smarter moves. James had a major psychological break. And listen, this is not necessarily intentional. It's related to what you were exposed to at all stages of life. Exposed to the news, living in fear, worrying about real things that can actually cause financial ruin. But we need to acknowledge something about fear. Fear never completely disappears. It will always be there in some way, shape, or form, but it's how it either kills you and your business or how it propels you like a slingshot. James decided to take our advice, change his mindset about fear and scarcity, and take massive action. He stopped playing defense. He hired a lead painter. He hired a sales rep, all in the same quarter. He got the right support, built the right system, and rewired his brain around fear. On October 29th, 2024, this is what James posted in our group. I'll put it on screen here. I'm running a small-time operation, running an average of 200,000 gross sales per year, but looking to scale to $1 million business in the next few years. Seems almost impossible from my past experience of attempting to scale, but with the help of this program and the great group of contractors, I am confident that I will succeed. Then in May 2025, just last month, he posted this. I am writing here today to share that my new sales guy, having been let loose this week on his own for the first time, has managed to sell $22,410 worth of work at an $85 an hour charge rate. Between the two of us, we have sold almost $115,000 in the last 30 days. This doesn't even consider the 4 to 6 estimates that are right on the fence and likely to tip our way next week with a little massaging. Keep in mind that in 2024, I only produced $179,000 total for the whole year. Our future is looking so bright. James booked almost as much as he produced an entire last year in a single week. He got smarter, and it didn't take a miracle. It took prioritization, execution, and a willingness to own the parts of the business that he had been avoiding, and the willingness to take calculated risk. Because the truth is, you're owning your business, it is owning you. And since this is segment 3, you know what that means. If you text the word GROW to the number on screen, 1-310-595-6716. Text me the word GROW, and you're gonna be entered to win a $500 gift card from Home Depot, Amazon, maybe even Frog Tape, whatever helps you move the needle. Stick around, because in the next one, I'm gonna show you why buying leads might be costing you way more than you think. See you there.
Wow. Look at that, guys. Awesome. So here's the deal, guys. There's a link in the chat. Eli's going to drop it, or Mike's still hanging around. So make sure you click that, enter to win. He's also got some cool things that he's going to give you guys. But remember, he sponsored this whole event, so he's doubling down on you. So please reciprocate that, fill out his form, get the free stuff, but also participate. That's why you're here. You can listen as much as you want, and obviously there's value there. Take action. So next up, good friend of mine, known him for years, Mr. Nick Kelly. Cool thing about Nick is he's so family centric. I mean, from the moment I met him, he's got a bunch of kids. He's a passionate business owner. He's someone that applied the knowledge. He attends everything. Nick, you're always at everything. I mean, any event, he's everywhere. He's going here, going there, going here, going there. So make sure you interweave that, Nick, because I think, like, sometimes people think information overload, but the first time I met you was at PCA back in Orlando in person, and you brought your manager with you, and you were just like soaking it up. It won't be long before you're on the stage speaking there. So again, man, we love you, and I can't wait to hear how you bless the people. So take it away, brother.
All right, thank you. Can you guys hear me? Mic check, mic check. You got me?
Yeah, you're good, bro. You're good.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Well, hey, let's give it up for my man, Mike. So I know Mike and Jason personally. He's my guy. He's out here helping. I mean, did you see that list that he had for you guys for the admin? Like, that's crazy. Overseas, like, man, you can't beat getting, I mean, that's a cheat code. VA list, baby. Let's go. And Jason, I've been to a number of Jason's events. It has changed my sales process a nice bit, framed things out, made it a scalable process. I promise you guys, if you guys have not went to that, you are 100% missing out. It's an investment, but it's one of the best investments to scale and really delegate to a team. So shout out Jason, he's helped me out tremendous amount, but I'm going to get right into this. All right. For you guys that know me, I just started a new company this year, Elite Brick and Masonry. I piggybacked it off of my Elite brand for the painting company. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me get this up. Let me. All right, we're in here. You guys see it?
Yeah,
Awesome.
good to go, brother. Yep.
All right, perfect. So here we are. Paint Biz Blitz, man. You can't beat it. All right. We're gonna talk about. Let me just get this on here real quick. Oops. All right, we're gonna get into who I am. I'm Nick Joe, family and God, like the guy said. To me, a successful business means nothing if I'm not in my family's life and my kids' life. Spending time with them is near and dear to me. I used to be a union painter. Okay, so this was something that I knew when I started my painting company. My painting company is projected for 3.5 million up to the date today. It's my 5th year. My brick company, it's my 1st year, and we're projected at 1.5 million in 9 months. Okay. So this is going to be on mastering the art of dual ownership, systems that scale across businesses, how to leverage one successful brand to launch another effectively, efficiently, and profitably. Okay. This is, I made this super easy on myself by going to all the events that Tanner talks about. You can go to a bunch of events, but you have to implement them. So there's a strategy that I use when I go to these events. I have notes. I pick 3 things that I'm going to implement right away, 1 thing in 6 months, and 1 thing over the year, right? So there's 5 things that I'm going to implement in my business every single time that I go to an event, and I hold myself accountable to that, which is very important. This is a little AI thing that I had for my brick company. All right, so we're gonna get right into this. Let me move this. All right, perfect. So piggyback off your brand, okay? So I built a really good brand in my area. A lot of people know the Elite brand. So branding creates instant familiarity and trust. Use it, okay? Use it to your advantage. I mean, I had over 250 5-star reviews when I started the company. So we piggybacked off that to build trust. People know the name, people know my face. So I used myself in the marketing as well. Use a similar mascot, logo, colors across the brands. Colors is super important. If you don't have a mascot, keep the colors neutral. Have a shout out like, hey, this is something, we're expanding our business, right? Do it throughout all platforms. Make a countdown. Those are some of the things that I've seen that have worked really well. Customers associate the look with reliability, results, and trust. And that's what we're shooting for. Jason said it perfectly. We want these customers to trust us. If they don't trust us, they're not going to spend, whether it's $1 or 20 grand, they're not going to spend nothing with us, right? Your first company's trust and reputation become your second's foundation. Let me say that again. Your first company's trust and reputation becomes your second's foundation. I love that. I thought that was very, very well, but it's so true. So if you set up your first company really well, it makes it really easy to start the second one when you have the systems and things in place. Leverage what you already have, your Google reviews, client testimonial, branded vehicles, billboard ads, local sponsorships, sports events. I'm big on supporting local, youth teams and golf outings and events in my area so people know who I am, right? Here are a couple of the vans. So these are my vans from the paint company and one of my salesman and PM vehicles. And then I have, this is one of our trailers. Obviously you can see one's got a brick, very cohesive. They see this, they see that, they understand who they're talking to. Here's some other things. So like I said, one of our tents at a golf outing, we co-sponsored an event, a golf outing, so that they knew the Elite Brick and the Elite Paint. A flag football team. And also, getting the pictures with the customers, right? If you have these, we actually tied in a page to our website while we're building our new website for the brick company. And, we have a lot of these things on it's just trust building. It makes it very easy for someone to trust us and say, okay, we know these guys are going to do a good job. People, the multiplier effect. All right. This is what's really going to set you apart and make things a lot easier. So you don't build a business, you build a team, and the team builds the business. Okay. I love that. What I did for my business personally is I had a buddy of mine that I known for about 15 years that was working in brick, had a very small, setup, not very professional, nothing like that. And I basically bought out his company and brought him on as a COO. So hire a COO if you're not a subject matter expert in the new industry. I've never done brick. I know nothing about brick. So I needed someone that I could trust, that knew how to, he was a salesman. He did project managing. So I needed that to understand how to build everything that I needed to from there, the SOPs and things of that nature. That is crucial. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. And that wasn't something I just was like, hey, I talked to him about 2.5 years about doing this before I made the jump and said, you know what, hey, I'm going to offer you X amount of dollars. I want to buy out the company. I want you to be COO. I'm going to, pay you well. And that's another thing, pay well. The really good people that are going to make a significant difference in your company are going to be costly. It's going to cost you. It's going to feel like you're losing a little bit at first. But I think we have been in production for 3 months now. I've met 2 customers and stopped at 2 jobs, and I haven't done anything else. Nothing. Checks and balances from that point on. EODs, things like that. Build a culture early, though. This is very important. We have a great core values, a great culture at our company. Clarify your company mission, long-term vision. Make it clear why a player should join your team. This is super important. If you just have a company that you don't, that no one desires to be at, right? We've built a really good brand, so people know our painting company. So they're like, oh man, we've heard nothing but good things about you, and your guys' stuff. So hiring the right way as well. Systemize your hiring. We hire the same way. We treat hiring like sales. Consistent process, measurable outcomes. Okay. Build a clear avatar for each role. And what an avatar is, what personality, mindset, strengths fit your company culture, right? What are some non-negotiables? What are things you need this position to know, right? Don't over prioritize experience. Character and attitude win every time. I'm going to tell you right now, I've been doing this long enough. I would much rather get the guy with 2 years experience that has a great attitude and is a go-getter than get the guy with 15 that does everything wrong up till this point. It's a lot easier for us to train them on our systems when they're new. And if you have a really robust training and you have really good systems, it's really, really easy to get these guys up and running if they're willing to put in the work. We always leave Indeed running constantly. You don't have to leave it running for $50. Leave a $5 budget on there, right? Leave it running. Weekly applicant review. Every week we go over the applicants that came in and we figure out if there's any of them that we want to have a phone screen in and possibly in-person interview, right? So we always like the in-person interviews for the top 5 candidates and always shortlist 3 top candidates per role. And the reason we do that is because let's say someone doesn't work out, right? We don't want to have to go right back to the drawing board, right? We have people in here, we list them in, let's say we got 10 guys in here, 1 through 10 who I'd want first, second, third, and so on, right? It's especially in sales, you'll definitely need to do that because it's a little bit harder of a position to hire for and train for. It takes a little bit more time. So onboarding, build it like a franchise, okay? This is something that I heard when I started my painting company. I really didn't like it because I was like, oh, I don't know if I want it to be like a franchise. But as I started picking up and scaling, I realized that was really the only way, right? Clarity creates consistency. Consistency scales, okay? And that's the truest thing I can tell you. Create a detailed employee handbook and job descriptions for every role. Once again, something that someone told me to do early. I thought, oh, no big deal, because at the time I was pretty small. When you're scaling, man, it makes a huge difference. And a lot of these guys have them out there that you can piggyback off of and check out. It just really solidifies the role. In our job descriptions, we go through it, we train it, and we make them sign it to make sure that they understand what their job description is, what their expectations are. Clearly outline pay structure, growth paths, performance expectations, right? So we want to let them know, hey, this is what you're going to be making now based off your experience. If this is the next step, this is the next step, and this is how you get there, right? No one wants a job, they want a career, okay? Develop SOPs for every task. I know it's daunting if it's not written down. If you're telling everybody everything, you're going to be in the driver's seat of your company forever. What I want to do is have this thing rolling by itself and me to be able to pop in when I want to on the production meetings and sales meetings, right? Pre-job prep, post-job cleanup, client communication, collecting reviews, sales and estimating scripts. I mean, the list goes on, people, okay? But this is super crucial and super important stuff. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're getting some. I know I'm going a little quick on this. I can send you guys the slides as well. These are some examples for the brick company. of some of my SOPs. I got the Elite Brick and Masonry Porch Project Setup SOP. This is exactly how we want them doing porches. I got the Project Manager SOP, Client Kickoff, Project Execution, and Final Walkthrough. This spells out exactly how I want my PM to do that job, right? Elite Brick and Masonry, Mason job description. This is for a Mason. This is what we want our Masons to know. This is what we expect out of them. This is how much they make. And we have them sign this at the end to make sure that they understand what they're doing. Like I said, pretty detailed. I printed these ones out and took a picture of them to make it easy so I could put them on the slideshow. Once again, if you guys kind of want a template, just shoot me an email. I'll leave you guys my email after this as well. But super important, the more things you have recorded, the more detailed you are. You got to train people on them as well, right? Having this on a piece of paper doesn't do much. You got to train them. Training that sticks, okay? So people retain what they practice, not what they're told. So it's just like for the people that have kids out there, right? I don't know how many times you guys tell they watch you more than they listen to what you're saying, right? So you got to walk the walk. We do onboarding 2 to 4 weeks of live demonstration. So we're training. So we actually spent about a month paying our guys before we had them even do a job for us here. And that was super important. So they knew how to, where we wanted our mixing station, how we wanted it set up, how we, because we do a lot of company cam pictures. So we'll have our guys, measure a level every 3 feet up. And we consistently put those in company cam so that at the end, if a customer has any questions or says this is off or this is off, we have pictures to let them know that, right? Sign-offs required after each process is understood in practice. So we actually will build a manual for what we're training. We'll not only sit down and go over it, we'll demonstrate it. After we demonstrate it, we have the guys come back. We ask them a couple questions, almost like a quiz, make sure that they understand what their expectations are, and we have them sign them, okay? Uniforms and professionalism are non-negotiable for us, okay? Make sure these guys are wearing uniforms. They look right. All my guys have the same boots, the same khaki shorts, shirts, hats, everything. They look like a team coming up, like a business, like a professional business coming up, right? Create a real sense of team. Make the training more like a boot camp rather than orientation. And that's a lot that comes from Jason. Shout out Jason for sure, because going to his boot camp, those are the type of hands-on trainings that we're having here, not just where everybody sits at a desk and pays attention a little bit. We try to be more interactive with it to get the most out of each and every minute that we get with our team. Shout out Joel. This is my guy. He's actually the one who showed me this. Duragi, the delegation framework. You cannot scale another company unless you know how to delegate, right? And there's actually a process to delegating, right? Train once, scale forever, right? I love that. I train more than once, but use this method to train and transfer ownership of tasks, right? Number one, you're going to demonstrate the task. So, hey, I want you, this is how I want you to caulk, right? This is how you cut the tube. I want it a little under 1/8 of an inch, whatever it might be. This is how I want the caulk untilted. I want you to have a wet rag in front of you. I'm going to show him how to do it, right? Then I'm going to give him the opportunity to do that as well, right? Not only in just painting, but this is even PMs. Like, hey, I'm going to take him out. I'm going to project manage this job, and I'm going to show him step by step based on our SOP, how I want it done. So he understands not only it needs to be done, but why it needs to be done, right? After doing that, we're going to re-demonstrate for clarity, right? So that's going to say, hey, if I seen him doing a little bit of something wrong, I'm going to show him the right way to do it again, okay? Then I'm going to assign the task individually into the field. Hey, man, I'm going to have you go to Martha's house and take care of that, do the walkthrough, client kickoff, and everything from there. I'm going to set the goal. Hey, I'm going to have you do 5 of these this week, and I want at least 3 5-star reviews based on, the experience they had with the kickoff, the production, and everything else, right? And then I'm going to inspect. Okay, I'm going to make sure. I'm going to stop out, here and there to make sure that they're doing it correctly. And then there's going to come a point where I'm just going to let them do it, and I'm going to let the KPIs speak for the results. How many reviews do you get? Hey, why? Why were there 12 jobs going on, and we only have 3 5-star reviews right now, right? This is a great framework for delegation. This is the correct way to do it. And like I said, I'll send these slides to you guys if you want them. And go in a little bit more detail of this. This is work great for the crews, the PMs, the sales. This is a great process to delegate. Checks and balances. Okay. Now we're to the point where we've delegated everything. Okay. We have, our PM doing what he needs to do, our sales guy doing what he needs to do. They understand the framework. We've went on, ride-alongs with them. We've had them in the office training, practicing objection handling. That's another thing. So use dashboards and spreadsheets to track everything. Okay. Leads and sources, jobs costing and gross profit, super important. Jason was talking about gross profit. We're on average of 63% for the calendar year. I think we were at like 56% before we hit Jason's boot camp. And it's equated for a lot more money, a lot more happy clients, and for more growth, right? Is what we're shooting for. Revenue sold versus completed, right? You know what I mean? We want to know both of those things. How much revenue have we sold? What's the GP on that? And how much have we completed for the week? Required EOD. So I get end of day reports from my admin, office manager, from my sales team. And I also get an EOD from my project manager. So I can sit in my office all day and just based on the emails that I get at the end of the day, I know exactly what happened in my company. I know how many leads came in. I know how many came in from Google. I know everything that's going on in my company. And I'll show you one of those as well. So weekly meetings to review. This was a significant game changer. Okay. I have some meeting structures as well and framework. Please hit me up. I made these. So hopefully it'll help you out as well. In our revenue goals, reviews gained, closing percentages. We go over KPIs. We also get set up for all of the production we have next week, the sales to production handoffs, right? Make sure everybody knows what's going on because our sales guys sell the jobs and then our PM picks it up from there. All right. These are a significant game changer. We had one going on a week. We just moved to one 30 to 45-minute meeting and another 15 meeting on Thursday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are typically our meeting days. And it makes such a significant difference, especially when you're not trying to do everything at the company. That is a great 45 minutes a week to an hour a week to be able to delegate, make sure everybody's doing everything, checks and balances, and make sure everything's ready for the following week. And that's an hour of my time. So realistically, I could spend an hour of my time in my business for both painting and in the brick company, and everything can be run properly and correctly just based off those meetings. We go over a lot of different things in those as well. Problem customers is another thing, right? Hey, does this lady sound like she's going to be a headache? Are there holes that need to be filled on the cabinet doors? Do we need to drill new holes? Do we have to send our carpenter out to do wood repairs before we're able to start this exterior? Do we have to hold off on any scheduling? So this just kind of is a quick hour that delegates everything so that everybody knows what their mission is and everybody goes and attacks. This is one of my EODs. This is from my admin. This is just like a blank copy of it, right? Kind of some of the numbers we shoot for, weekly leads that have came in, current production. Up to the right corner right here, this is our lead tracker. So this is how many leads came in from Facebook. Green are going to be the ones that we set appointments on. Orange, we're still trying to get a hold of. Red, we either got a hold of, wrong numbers or something like that. And then in the bottom right corner, this is one of my salesmen's sales tracker, we call it. Shout out to Joel. He hooked me up with a lot of this stuff. He's is my coach. He's fantastic. Joel Mercado, I believe he's speaking on this event as well. But the sales tracker, I can look in live time every day. It's going to tell me my closing percentage. It's going to tell me how many I closed from each one of my marketing avenues, Google PPC, GSLA. This is what running a business looks like. Okay. These are all none of this stuff is done by me. This is all done by my team. And then they take this information, put it into an EOD for me so I can see it. And if I need to look at anything and go, okay, what's going on? I even have comments to the right of the section of why we didn't close the job. What were the excuses? Did we close it on site? Did they answer the call back when we called them, right? So that I can know how to train my team, sales team, and make sure that, they're trying to get the most out of every lead that we get. But this is super important. This is how you stay organized, and this is how it makes it very easy to move to another company and replicate the same things that you're doing from the last company. Okay. Incentivize performance. I actually first learned this from Tommy Mello. I read one of his books and he spoke very highly on this. If your team wins, your business wins. Okay. And that's the biggest thing. I want my guys to want to win because they're winning and I'm winning, right? Because if they win, I win, right? Revenue sold, closing percentage, gross profit on those as well, reviews for my PMs, how many were collected per jobs done, profitability on those jobs as well, job costing, tie incentives to key performances. You know, I like doing bonus structures like, hey, if you get X amount of reviews in this month, you get this many. If you get this many, you get this based on, because we have everything projected out, how many jobs we're doing in that month. If he can get 50%, he's going to get X amount of a bonus. If he gets 60% 5-star reviews from that, from our production team, he gets X amount of a bonus, right? And for sales, we have a goal. If my salesman, once he breaks 1 million, he gets another percent. Once he breaks 1.2, he gets another percent. Once he breaks 1.5, he gets another percent. And then there's a big bonus if he hits 2 million. Okay. We want these guys to have how much they're going to make in their own hands. We don't want to say, hey, no matter what you do, you're just going to make X amount of money. That's not doing anything for me and anything for you. And they're also, when they sell, the gross profit as well has something to do with it. Now, we don't go off gross profit, but if your job's not, you know, at least 60% GP, you do get you know, knock down percentage points based on that, right? And then if you do that more than 2 times, you don't get any commission from the job at all, 0 commission. So we have all these things set up, right? Promotions, role upgrades, those are always other options as well. But I always say, A players want more than a paycheck. They want a future. And this is the way to set them up with a career, right? And a way to make more and more money than to cap them out and feel like they want to find something else to make possibly more money, right? And this is my final thoughts from business owner to business architect. If you have one company running well, you already have the blueprint, okay? If you go to these events, you listen to some of these guys, you actually take notes, you actually implement these things. Getting to this point was not easy, okay? I failed a lot, but I wasn't scared to fail, okay? I failed fast is what I like to say. Is, you know, if everybody thinks that like, oh man, it just happened so great. Like, no, failing doesn't affect me because it's a lesson. I learn from failing, right? So I learned something. I'm like, okay, I can't do it this way. Let me try it this way. This might work like this. And then I fail again, right? And then I try this again, right? I mean, if I do that fast, quickly, in 3 days, I can learn what it might take you 6 months because you failed and you're like, I'm just not going to try that again, right? And we've all been there as well, right? Mirror the systems that have made your first company a success, right? Build strong branding. Branding is so huge, so huge. And I'm going to repeat that. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, 10,000, oh, 20,000 on branding. It makes a significant difference. If everybody in town knows you, it's going to make it a lot easier to do endeavors like what I'm doing right now. Recruit the right people, okay? Don't get the guy that has more experience because you're in a pinch, okay? Don't do it. Take the loss for the few weeks it takes you to train someone that might have a little less experience, right? Get a culture fit, get a go-getter, get a guy that fits that. You know, all I have is A players at my painting company and at my brick company. I mean, I spent 6 months having interviews and making sure I had the right people that fit the right bill, right? I really spent time on that. And now, like I said, I haven't touched the brick company. I did a couple of videos, stopped at 2 jobs. I couldn't tell you what customers were doing this week or anything, to be honest with you, unless I looked, okay? My production handles all of that. My team handles all of that, okay? Train your team like a franchise, right? You need to have repeatable, scalable things that you can pass on that are easy to teach, okay? I did that wrong when I first began and had to redo everything, and it was a pretty big headache, okay? Track everything like a CFO. Lead like a CEO, not a technician. A lot of us come from the field and we want to lead, you know, our team like a crew leader would, right? And that's good, but that only will take you so far in business, right? You got to be able to manage people, okay? Build out KPIs and make a culture in here where everybody wants to compete and do well and is happy for people doing well, right? Build it once, scale it twice, grow forever, baby, okay? Here are a couple of my dogs, right? There's Joel. I was at PaintCon. We got my buddy Adam and Peach. He's gonna be on here too. That's my guy. My buddy Lucas. That was I sold just $1 million in Facebook last year, which was pretty cool. And then my buddy Justin's on here as well. Shout out Justin. He is the man. You'll get a lot of good stuff from him. My buddy Brad, we're actually in the same market. We're great friends. You know, we don't compete. You know, basically what we do is we send each other what's working for us. And then that's my guy Tanner. We've known each other for a while. He's one of the first people that got me to come out to these events. So I'm gonna be honest with you. It would have took me a lot longer to get where I am today if it wasn't for that painting contractors page and him putting on things like this. So shout out that DripJobs has been a super focal point in my my companies as well. I actually use DripJobs for my brick company as well. And it just works great. It's huge, especially when I didn't have an admin. And now that I do have an admin with all these great features they keep coming out with, I'm glad she's the one doing it, not me, because I'm not the big tech savvy guy. You know what I'm saying? So take a screenshot of this if you guys want. This is my office number. Nick, try and get me at Nick at Elite Paint. If you guys want me to send you any slides or anything like that, please just let me know. This is where you can kind of find, this is just the paint side of the company right here. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. I'm open for some questions if you guys got any, or I don't know exactly where I'm sitting on time.
Nick, you're right on time, brother. Look
at me. I'm getting better at these, bro.
You're getting perfect. Stick around in the chat. If anybody has a question for Nick, drop it in the chat. He'll hang out for a little bit. Guys, drop some emojis, guys. We're at 12 p.m. Do a little stretch. We got Justin coming, the trade launch king coming. But guys, give some love to our guy Nick and the value, and just kind of, guys, union painter turned multi-million-dollar business owner. You know, we strategically place these individuals like Nick here so you can have hope.
You know me, I gotta light a fire in these guys, right? Listen,
yes, sir.
The only person stopping you from being where you want to be is you. Okay, I want you guys to understand this. A lot of people, your head, it's you against your head. Okay, your head is gonna give you. Think about it like this: when you're in the gym and you're pushing, right? At about, let's say at 10, you feel like your brain's like, all right, that's enough. Can you push another 4 or 5 usually, or at least 3? 100% you fucking can. Okay, and I want you guys to understand that it's you against your brain. Okay, you can do whatever you're willing to put in the work for. I tell my children this. Okay, and listen, a successful business is great. Okay, but if you're not a part of your family and your kid's life, that means nothing. I don't care how much money I have at the end of this. If my kids don't say, man, I had the greatest dad ever, it means nothing to me. Okay, spend time with your kids. Time is the most valuable thing that is in this world, because you can't get a minute back once it's gone.
Let's go. Man, that fired me up. Let's go. That was the blitz I needed at 12 o'clock, brother.
Let's go.
Let's go. I love it, brother. Thank you, man. I knew you'd knock it out of the park, guys. Paint Biz Blitz. If you guys are getting some value out of this event, drop a 1 in the chat. Please let me know if you're getting some value. If we should keep doing these, the 1 represents Tanner and team spend the last 30 days promoting this thing, you know, getting yelled at by people for emailing them too much, and phone calls and text messages. I mean, thank you guys for showing up. For real, I really appreciate it. It just inspires us to keep doing more and sharing the good word of growth. So next up, we got Justin. Before we dive in, Justin, your video is not on. I had to turn it off because you were there. So get ready. But before we get started on Justin, you guys know that Painter Growth, our guys over at Painter Growth, are good friends. They sponsored the entire event. They said, you know what? We're just gonna eat up all the commercial space. And our good friend Mike put together a mini series weaved in throughout all the commercials. So you're gonna get some value in each commercial. So exciting stuff there. So hold on, guys. We're gonna launch this next ad. This is ad number 4 from Mike and the Painter Growth team. So let's get this going. In 1 second, you'll see Mr. Mike Gore Hickman here, and here we go.
You see this right here? This is a $150 Angie lead for a homeowner who asked 5 other painters to call him back, and you're number 6. Do you know what that means? It means that Angie got $900 for this lead from 6 suckers for a lead that might not even turn into a job. If you are still buying leads from Angie, you don't have a business. You have a treadmill. Hang on. That's better. And the worst part about these leads is they don't even care if you're the one that paints for them. They only care if you are the cheapest price. You know what? I got to get to my whiteboard. Look, a lead system is not the same as buying leads. We're not against paid ads or advertising. We're against paying for garbage leads from crooked lead aggregators. If you don't own the system, own the pipeline, the follow-up, the ad buying strategy, you're likely going to have a bunch of garbage to sift through. We see it every week. Painters coming to us burned out from Angie, Bark, Thumbtack, whatever. They're chasing leads that they don't control, and they're getting ghosted. And they're wondering why their production calendar is still empty. And they're wondering why their production calendar is still empty after paying $150 per lead, and the new painting business just down the street is getting their own exclusive leads within their own advertising system for less than $30, or a fifth of the budget that you, or 5 times the potential that your business is getting. Look, real businesses own their pipeline. They build repeatable systems. They build door-to-door teams, social media presences, relationships with strategic partners. They implement email marketing, SMS marketing, and they truly understand how marketing works and how they can leverage that in their businesses. It's being a good, savvy business person and not just being lazy and buying leads because it's convenient. You know you need to cut that cord, so cut it today. Text me the word leads, L-E-A-D-S, at 310-595-6716 if you want my 30-page PDF called $100 Million Leads for painting contractors, and I will send it right over. Stick around, because in the next intermission break, we're going to talk about the one key hire that Johnny B hired that brought his business from $8,000 per month to $125,000 per month. See you there.
Let's go, guys. Find the chat. We got a text message, PDF file coming your way. So text leads to the number in the chat. Listen, guys, Paint Biz Blitz, you know, DripJobs is going to come through with a nice promo for anyone here that doesn't already have DripJobs. Hopefully it's very few of you, but if it's not, Blitz90 is the promo code today. 90 days free. Go to dripjobs.com for that. So next up, Justin Geo. He is the man. Trade launch. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Justin. He came onto the scene, exploded his painting business, and not only that, I think he won the school games or came very close, runs a huge online contractor community, teaches and helps implement door-to-door sales. I mean, you talk about owning a lead source. I mean, that commercial is actually perfect for you, Justin, because we're going to segue right into the ownership of a lead source, having control over those leads. I know Justin's going to bring it. Brother, it's all yours. Thank you so much for joining. We got Justin in the house.
Let's go. Okay, so boys and girls, I want to make sure the chat is on fire. So I got some extra support here. Guys, what should I do with the chat? Chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. All right. All right, this is our sales leadership team here. The guys are doing a meeting. I'm going to hop into the warehouse. But I hope you guys are fired up, because I am. I'm definitely fired up. And we're going to be talking about a lot today. So I know Tanner mentioned that door-to-door is a big funnel for us. Door-to-door is massive. So we do door-to-door. We use cold calling, Facebook ads. Shout out to Tridus. We do lots of different ways to market. Now, I want to take a different approach for today's presentation. I want to do somewhat of a case study with you guys. All right, I'm going to show you exactly how we hired one rep with no experience in sales, a door-to-door rep. And in 1 month, we got him to $100K a month inside our company at a 3.5% marketing cost. All right, so let me share my screen here. All right, you guys like that intro? I had to wake everyone up here. Okay, so this is a Canvasser employee case study. So from no experience to hitting $100,000 months. All right, a little bit about myself. I'm a self-development fanatic. I've done a lot of training with Alex Hormozy, Patrick Bet-David, Andy Elliott. Andy Elliott and I actually did a contractor training where we did a webinar. A bunch of guys came on. And I'm always striving to grow and become the best version of myself. And that's the exact type of people I look for in the canvasser position and the estimator position and production manager, really any leadership position. Those are the kind of people I want in my company. So this is Will. Okay, this is Will. Will joined us April 6th, 2025 as a door-to-door rep. So no sales or marketing experience. He never knocked on a door. Okay, Will's stats in May 2025. He worked 25 hours a week. Okay, so that's 100 hours for the month. He got 93 A leads. These are 93 people that want an estimate. We converted. Door-to-door is a little bit less of a conversion than Facebook ads because you're going to their house. They might say yes, then you call them and they're like, actually, not really. We booked 35 estimates from that, and we sold 21 of his jobs at a high closing rate. We got $107,000 in revenue. Okay, this was our marketing spend with Will. Okay, And he literally came in fresh out the gate. He was an HVAC technician before, working on the tools. He was an excellent communicator. He did drama class in high school. He really wanted to give that side of him to the world. All right. So the reason I want to start out this presentation like this is because these people are out there. They're everywhere. We have a team of 10 door-to-door reps, consistently about 5 are going like just like Will is. And what we do in our company is we take these door-to-door reps that show hunger, grind through the pain of getting rejection, and then whoever does the best, we give them a spot at an estimator. So our 5 estimators that are now full-time all started as door-to-door reps. We find it's one of the best ways to breed new salespeople and get paid to do so in the company. Okay, so this is the same system I'm going to go over that allowed me to do $1.7 million in my contracting businesses this last month in May. So our painting company did just under 700,000, and then our GC company hit our first $1 million month. So this is what we do door to door. Door to door is massive, but that's not the only thing. Door to door, Facebook ads, cold calling is huge. We do email blasts. We do a lot of stuff that I can go over if we have some time for Q&A, but door to door is a pivotal part. So this might be a quicker presentation and we can open up for some Q&A, but I'm going to go over how we recruited Will, how we onboarded him, how we trained him, and how we incentivized him and the team. And this is the exact system we use for every rep that comes in. All right, so recruiting door-to-door reps. There's 2 ways we recruit. We use a job ad on Indeed. Indeed is a great place to recruit. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys are using Indeed. Let's see. Okay, we got Jada, Leonard, Josh. Put a 2 in the chat if you aren't using Indeed to recruit right now. Okay. All right. So Indeed is massive. Indeed is great, especially for obviously for in-house employees. If you're looking like W-2s, if you're looking for subs, it's not necessarily the place for that. However, we use a job ad on Indeed. I'm going to show you the exact job ad that we used, and I'm going to show you literally everything. So we use a job ad on Indeed, and we also do creative outreach. So the way that we do creative outreach is we reach out to college coaches. So college, university, community colleges, they have sports teams. That is available online to see what the sports teams are like. And usually the coaches have their emails. So we get our admin to go through and get a list of all the different college and university coaches in our area. And we send them an email, basically pitching them on why their student athletes should work for our company. So there's creative outreach and there's job ads on Indeed. Okay, from there, we have a simple screening process. I'm going to show you guys all this, but just so you understand the funnel, we got our job ads up, we get people applying. Okay, then we screen them out. So a quick screening call, make sure they're down to knock on doors, they got their own vehicle, they sound decent on the phone, we can tell they're going to be personable. Okay, and then we bring them to what's called an info session. You can either do these info sessions live at your office if you have one. We prefer to do them over Zoom. So we just have one Zoom call every week that's stationary, repeats every week. And our admin screens out all these applicants, and the best fit, we put in one Zoom call. And it's kind of like a webinar like this. We have a slideshow. There's a bunch of people on it. We go through the position, and then we see who actually wants to try this out and take a leap of faith in door to door. All right. From there, we do final interviews, bring them out as a team for tryouts, and then we do onboarding. Okay. So this is some of the job ads that we have. So it's estimate setter. Okay, so we just posted one June 5th. So that was 12 days ago. We have 86 applicants. Some ads will pop off like this one, 1,154. We find that the title estimate setter on Indeed is one of the best ways to find reps. And we've tested putting the pay in the title. Now you can see here, we did an estimate setter ad at the very bottom of the screen. It had 17 applicants, didn't do well. We closed it and we posted it again, but we put the pay in the title, the pay range. And then we had a lot more people apply. So it's a very simple way on Indeed. Now, what I also want to show you guys is exactly like the training. So let me pull this up here. So we have the community trade launch that Tanner was talking about. So literally we use this for our business. This is how trade launch started, is exactly the SOPs that we use in our companies to scale, and we put them in here. So for example, recruiting, go and you have the job ad. So we have the job ad already built out. We have a video tutorial showing you how to post it. Okay, then we go and we have the screening call templates, the final interview templates, the scripts. We have the live info session tutorial and the slideshows you guys could use for a live info session. We literally put everything we're doing in this. So actively, as we're building our companies, we're going back and actually using what's in our community. So going back to the slideshow here. Now, once we have these applicants, we put them through that funnel. To break things down further, we do testing, onboarding, and training. So like I showed you guys, we have those slideshows. So you guys can build these simply, and ChatGPT is a great way to like build slideshows or build PDFs or really anything you need. Ask it what you need and tell it to do what you want it to do. We have these built out in our company. So we use a door-to-door onboarding. We have a door-to-door masterclass. So the door-to-door masterclass, there's probably, guys, put a 1 in the chat if you're in Trade Launch or if you've been in either the free community, went through the door-to-door masterclass, or if you're actively in the community. Okay, so we got a good amount of people in here. I know, Brian, you're crushing it. Actually, freaking, you're demolishing right now. Yeah, so inside the community, not only do we have the recruiting systems, but we have the door-to-door masterclass. So this is a team training. So whenever we hire a new rep, and guys, I can give you guys this for free. So I'm gonna give you guys the full team training for free. There's a link that, I don't know if someone has it, they can put it in there. It's just the free community that has this whole training. So what this is, as soon as we hire a rep, or as soon as after we do the group info session, before we even actually hire them, before tryouts, we get them access into this training module. This goes over mindset, best practices, the different types of leads you can get at the door, the scripts, how to handle leads, how to handle objections. It goes through everything. It has a bunch of live footage. Lots of companies over Canada and North America are using this to train their reps. So when we hire a rep, we give them access. They go through all these trainings before they even start in the position. So if they quit before then, we haven't paid anything, and we wean out the people that are just not a good fit. So before we even hire people, like I said, they go through training, they come trained, ready to start for their tryouts. All right. So then we go and we knock with them. We knock with the guys. We have a lot of reps that are now experienced. If you're building a door-to-door team yourself, you're gonna have to, take a step up and actually go out and knock with these guys. So you could be 60 years old, you could be 70, you could be 20, you could be 30. Door-to-door works no matter how old you are, no matter what you look like. It's just who has the willingness to go and actually try it out. Now, with a lot of people I work with, if they have some resistance to door-to-door, we can look at just hiring out a door-to-door manager right away, but it's a bit of a gamble. I like to see the business owner, especially if you have the time and you need the leads, to go out there and actually try it yourself. After you kind of get the gist of it, one hire can change your whole company. A hire like Will, for example. He can come in, do well. You can delegate door-to-door management to him. He can duplicate himself across the other reps. It's a very, very good lead channel. So on top of that, we do Zoom trainings. We do Zoom trainings not only with our team every Wednesday, but we open it up to our community where a bunch of door-to-door reps from all different companies can come on. We role play, we drill, we have fun. We make sure everyone's trained up. And then I report to the business owners I work with, giving some feedback on how the reps are doing. All right. So I want to kind of show you what like in-person tryouts look like for our business. So for example, let me know if you guys can hear this audio. Can you guys hear the audio when I just played it there? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear the audio.
Door training day.
Yeah, we can hear.
About the recruits. Looking good. A lot of good potential here. I'm excited. See who lasts. See who lasts after today.
So these are all different reps. Some of them aren't hired yet. Some of them are hired. There's actually Will right there. He wasn't hired yet. This was my first time meeting him. He already went through all the training. He came with the book, taking notes. And we went through some in-person training right before all of them went out and did tryouts. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can do this. The more you put into this lead channel, the more you're going to get out of it. Okay, and this is great to bring this type of hunger culture to your business. I was actually recently at a Patrick Bet David event, and he was asking. He's like, put your hand up in the audience. He's like, put your hand up if you guys have people that hunt for leads, hunt for business in your company. And not a lot of people did. He said, put your hand up if you have salespeople, but they wait for leads to come to them. And a bunch of people put their hands up. He's like, okay, you have waiters in your company. You're literally, your company is full of waiters. We don't want waiters. Okay, we're not a restaurant. We want hunters. So door-to-door is one of the best ways to breed this skill and bring this culture inside your business. Then when they do become estimators, they'll still go out and hunt. They know how to hunt now. And they're going to respect what leads look like more. So they're at an estimate. It goes pending, let's say. Their follow-ups, their eagerness to close, because they now know the pain and the trial and errors it takes to get a lead. They know the value of the lead. So this is a very, very good funnel to bring leads in. This brings us over $3 million. We'll do probably close to even 4 in our company this year, just with this marketing system. And it's at a way cheaper cost than we'd pay in online marketing. Typically Facebook ads, like online marketing, we're at about 7%. Door-to-door falling closer to that 4% range. but it all comes down to you as the owner and as a leader, who you hire and how you really delegate the system, which we can definitely help with. All right, so going back to the training here. So that's in-person tryouts. Then we have the onboarding. So like I said, we have the slideshows that we put the team through. Okay, we go over our core values. We make sure they're familiar with how hard it's going to be, the expectations we have, the hours, all of that. Just making sure that they have a full understanding. And a lot of this gets covered in the recruiting process, but just another touch point to onboard them properly again. Now, one thing we do differently, since I'm a self-development fanatic and I really love self-development, is we actually go through what's called a leader launch booklet. So with all the key hires in our company, we sit down with them and we go through everything that we want to know about them. We want to set some learning goals for them, short-term, long-term, outside of business, health and fitness goals, experiential goals, personal goals. We want to go through and help them discover their own core values. So we give a bunch of list of values. We go through so many different things. We ask them, what things do you that you can't stand? What do you love? What would, if you were a teacher, if you were to teach a graduating high school class values that would give them the best opportunity for success in life, what would those values be and why? We really want to get to know these guys. So we put these people through what's called a leader launch booklet, and we do some time audit exercises, see how much time they're spending on YouTube or drinking or partying, and really show them, based on the hours that we can shave off the bad habits and put into the company, how much they can make for themselves. Now, the goal with any position, whether it's a production manager or a door-to-door rep, or an estimator, it doesn't matter. We are here to develop them. And if we switch our perspective from we're running a painting business to we're running a leadership development company, you'll fall back in love with your business. And that's what happened to me. Honestly, I was thinking painting's kind of boring. I was getting bored. I was like, man, this Susan complained about the drip on the floor and this, and it's like, oh God. But then I had to switch my perspective, and door to door helped me do that. If I bring these young guys in, I get them away from the drinking, from the partying, from the degeneracy in our civilization right now, and show them the path to, and help them see the path to self-development, betterment, making money, sales. Like, they'll go very far in life. One of my old coaches, he said to me, he's like, what do you think? Like, one thing to keep in mind is what will people say at your funeral? That's kind of dark, but that's something that leads me a lot. Is like, what will be said at my funeral? I want to have a long-lasting impact on people, and I want impact over income. And with impact, income will come. And if you can help other people make money in your business, and your business can be the bridge from where they are to where they want to be without thinking about your business, if you find out where they are and where they want to go, and you can create that bridge with your company and with a unique position, you'll make so much money. Like, it's insane, and it's fun doing it. So this is really what our company is about. This is what I teach guys in trade launches: how to be a better leader, how to use systems to bring leads in. And the door-to-door reps, they don't only have to knock on doors. We have them come in earlier. They cold call from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They're dialing, they're cold calling, hitting past leads, past clients, pending estimates. And if they close a pending estimate after 15 days of it going pending, the salesman, whoever quoted it, and the cold caller split commission. So there's lots of ways you can really bring some young people in and give them opportunity, and then they go out and knock on doors. Okay. So how we incentivize, this is my main focal point of this presentation. So put a 1 in the chat if you guys know Patrick Bet David. You guys know PBD, the GOAT, PBD. Okay, we got 3 people, 4 people. I'm guessing everyone probably knows PBD in some way, shape, or form. All right, so PBD, he had a sales leadership summit in Mar-a-Lago. I paid, I think it was like $7K per person. So I brought me and my sales manager and co-partner in the company. And we came in and we just came as students. We came as students. I'm a student in the game. No matter, I want to be the smallest fish in the room. Yes, I'm coaching guys. Yes, I'm helping guys grow from 100K to 200K, 300K months, or 0 to 100K month. But that doesn't mean that just because I'm helping people grow that I have to stop growing. And I think it's a lot of coaches fall in this in this paradigm of like, I don't want to be vulnerable to say I don't know everything. I don't know everything. And what we were doing that wasn't well was doing competitions for our sales team. So we go to Patrick Bet David, we come as students, we humble ourselves. There's guys beside me doing $500 million a year building bomb shelters for Kim Kardashian and Andrew Tate. This one guy I met beside me. Other guys doing $100 million in solar at 24 years old. I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. So it humbled me. And the biggest takeaway I had from this event is your comp structure make the comp structure like super cool, super unique, and make it based on the bottlenecks you have in the business. So if your set rate's low, incentivize set rates. If your winter is slow, do a winter frenzy competition. But what I took away was just proper sales competitions, whether it's quarterly or monthly. Okay, so I'm sitting at this event, we're taking notes. You know, you can go to events just like this that we're doing today and you can take notes, but if you don't take action, it's sure you ate some good food or you listen to some people, you got pumped up, but you don't take anything with you. So I took notes. I need to develop a really kick-ass sales competition. Okay, so we can come back from this event, come back to the team and say, guys, we didn't just go and party and go to Mar-Lago to hang out. We went, took what we good, and we're gonna put it, and we're all gonna make more money here. So what we did is we came back in May. We came back, it was like April 27th, and we started May Mayhem. May Mayhem was a sales competition. This involved our sales reps, our estimators, obviously, but it wasn't just about revenue sold because the top guy that's getting the best leads, Isaac, he's probably going to sell the most because we're giving him, you know, bigger jobs and he's getting a lot of leads because he's closing well. So we didn't want to make the competition off that. We're like, hey, how can we incentivize more than just the salespeople? How can we even incentivize the production managers and the door-to-door reps to feel this fire and go after a common goal? Well, what we did is we did a self-gen lead competition. So what I mean by this, and I'll show you guys a slide, is we did a self-gen lead competition. If you go get a lead and that lead closes, you don't have to sell it, but if you source the lead and it closes, you get 1 point. Okay, you get 1 point. Now, we did this with all of our reps. So I'm just going to show you guys a quick little video and I'm going to explain what it did to our company. Okay, let me know if you guys can hear this.
May Mayhem.
Okay, so May Mayhem. Okay, we used Gecko board. It connects to our HubSpot. So when leads come in, whoever was the canvasser or whoever got the lead, and that the lead closes, then it goes on the leaderboard live time. Everyone had their leaderboard on the phone. We had the leaderboard in the TV in the office.
Self-gen.
We had all our reps. We had our production managers, our door-to-door reps, our sales guys, and we had everyone started. We put everyone started at 1. We're like, everyone's even. We all start at 1. If I started at 0, nothing would show up on the board, so I had to make them all 1. So everyone started at 1. Now, as whoever gets over 10 self-gen leads that end up closing, I'm taking whoever gets over 10 to go drive supercars all day. You pick, you want a McLaren, you want a Lambo, you want a Ferrari, you want a Prius. I don't care. I won't judge. We're taking you to drive cars all around. It's like 2 hours away from us. There's a helicopter. It's sick. And I got young guys in my team. So they're fired up. I'm getting them. What kind of car are you going to drive? Will's like, actually, I don't really like cars. I was like, okay, well, and he won the competition. I was like, all right, well, whatever, forget about you. Jaden, what are you going to drive? I'm going to drive a McLaren. Okay, cool. So we did that. So that was one competition in May. Whoever gets over 10 gets to drive supercars. Was it a monetary thing? Did I say you get 10 grand, you get 5? No. It's probably going to it's costing us about $300 a person. Only 5 guys got over 10 self-gen that closed. We did 700K with door-to-door in that month. So there's a lot of stuff that came through. So on top of that, what we also did is we took all these reps, and again, this is PMs too. So I told the production managers, you can go to a job you just finished out, you got the payment, get a referral. That counts as a self-gen lead. Our sales guys are like, well, I don't have time to knock on doors. I'm selling so much. Well, ask for referrals when you close. Knock on the doors around your estimate. Everyone was on the even playing field. And it was cool seeing a production manager win, a couple door-to-door reps win, an estimator win, and get over 10 self-generated leads that closed in that month. Now, what we also did is we broke up everyone into different teams. So I think it was teams of 3 or teams of 4. And we also had whatever team gets the most self-gen leads that close, you get a custom competition or a custom prize where we're going to take them out to a cottage, rent ski-doos and stuff like that.
And lead competition. Whoever sources the most leads that close, if they get over 10, they get to come drive supercars with us as a team. So I'm going to get over 10 self-gen leads, come drive supercars, and then the winning team gets a custom experience.
And what's nice, you see the guys all break out in their groups. They're talking, okay, I got these pending estimates we can call. Okay, these are the job sites I'm working on right now.
Mystery,
prize. The guys are all together brainstorming. It was sick to see. We weren't doing anything like this, and this drastically changed things. So I do have a document how we broke down the competition, the rules of the competition, everything. If you guys want it, I'm going to put this inside my free community where we have already the door-to-door masterclass. I'm going to throw this in here. So Eli, can you put a link to my contractor growth community, the trade launch free community? So I'm going to put this in here. So if you guys want this full competition breakdown, how we did it, it's going to be in the free community. You guys also get a free 5-step course on how to scale your business. And you get the full door-to-door masterclass that you can literally start hiring reps and putting them through now for free. So I'm trying to get as much value as I can. I'm going to also give this competition booklet away. And then other ways we've incentivized, I know I got 5 minutes here, is this. I brought our number one estimator. I've actually brought 2 of my estimators, but the guy that was number 1, he got an extra prize. We brought him to a Toronto Maple Leafs game. Go Leafs, go.
Oh, sir. Number 1
Go Leafs, go.
sales rep of the company. At the Maple Leafs game.
And
We got a little gift for you. No.
and he got a Rolex. Okay, and he got a Rolex. You might think, oh, it's too expensive. It's like, guys, these guys are building your companies. He always wanted a Rolex. You know, I got him the same Rolex I have. Let's go. Okay, don't be cheap on your guys. Invest in them. Give him everything. Well, what if he takes the Rolex and he quits? Well, did you help change his life through your training and your development, the opportunity? Yeah. Okay, that's a win. And now he's a Rolex to remember you by. Okay, the gist of this presentation, guys, is be unique, be authentic, run your business and not the average painting, boring guy. Okay, you can do whatever you want with your company. You know, I grew up in sports teams and then I was done sports and I wanted something like a group that I could have fun with and grow and go through struggles with. And that's what I created in my business. Business is not meant to be boring. Business can be the best thing in the world if you build the team right, you incentivize them well, you have competitions, you have fun, and you go after a common goal together. Okay, this is the same thing I did with Humberto. Humberto, he's at 20K in total sales in 2023. And then 5 months working with us, we got him up to 200K a month. We hired a door-to-door team, got him a production manager. Now we have an estimator for him. He's close to hitting 400K this month, actually. And he's someone you guys could chat with if you want to learn more about trade launch. He's a huge advocate of it. You know, same with Jose. So Jose, we got him up to 300K a month just off door-to-door. He's out in Seattle. And then Matthew Pitts just put a little thing. Justin, your door trains are spot on. This is the free trainings. I hired a door-to-door guy, sat him down. He got 4.5 leads. You know, 3 estimates set from it, all this stuff. So we helped a lot of companies with door-to-door. We also train companies like Josh with Albright Painting. If you guys know him, he does Paint It Forward, I think it is, the charity event. He does like 15 to 17 million in his company. He hired me to train his estimators, to role play with his estimators every week, fire them up. And that's all the stuff we do in our community. Okay, guys, so that's everything from me. As you can see, I'm pretty excited. I'm pumped up. And hopefully you guys feel some of the energy here and you guys are ready to go for the rest of the time here. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin. Always love the passion. Love.
I don't know if he froze or if I froze, but
I think he froze.
okay. Tyler Paul, love you, bro. Tyler's at 100K months now. He's in trade
Probably
launches.
hang around.
Eli, you're frozen, brother.
Oh, I'm frozen.
Yep. I think you're back. You're good to go.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Good to go. Good to go.
Awesome,
All right,
Justin.
thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
brother.
Okay, thank you guys. See ya.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, everybody. Okay. Guys, next up, we have Aiden Smith coming up next. Aiden, he's on deck, ready to go. I see him up there. But before, you know, we need to hear from Painter Growth. If you're just joining, Painter Growth is doing basically like a little micro mini series throughout the event, through the ads. And I got the next one queued up for us here. They just took over the event and said, hey, we're going to drop we're going to drop value throughout the entire thing. So guys, let's get to that really fast. And then we will hear from Aiden. There we go. Make sure that's good. All right.
One hire took a client of ours from 25K per month to over 80K per month. Do you want to know who it was? Well, I'll give you a hint. It wasn't a painter. It wasn't a sales rep. It wasn't a PM. It was a crew lead. Someone who could lead and not just help. Because here's what I've seen over and over again. Painters are scared to hire. They're burned by bad hires, or they just don't trust anyone to do it right. But the real problem is that they're hiring helpers, not future leaders. And if you just hire helpers, you're handcuffing yourself to the job site.
Hey,
See,
Eli,
most
go ahead,
guys,
and shut it off real quick, brother.
recruiting filter, no hiring process, and no vision.
Hey, Eli, go ahead and shut it off real quick, brother.
Hey, Eli, go ahead and shut it off real quick, brother.
Awesome, Justin. Thank you, brother. Sorry, guys. A little bit of technical difficulty right there. One sec, guys. Let me get this one up. We got something happening
Is it?
there. Yeah, it was someone's blocking the screen. So let me see. Boom. I'm gonna go ahead. Let me share the screen. Go ahead and approve that share, please.
Yeah. Got you.
All right. Okay. Okay. Eli, do me a favor, man. Make me the host again so I get this fixed.
Yep.
Thank you guys for the patience. Just hit the three dots next to my name.
Yep. There it is.
Okay. So, okay. Let's see if this lets us do it. You guys hear that?
There we go.
No, I can't. Good client of
No
ours.
sound. Yeah.
25K per month,
What's that? Is
It's
it
like
playing
background
through?
Yep.
sound. Over 80K per month. You want to know who it was?
Yeah, no sound on my end.
Mhm.
All right, 1 second, guys.
We'll get there, boys. Let's get fired up. Come on now. We're halfway into this event. Let's go, guys. Who's still here? Drop a 1 if you're sticking around and you want to see the Paint Pro present. Let's go.
There we go. Yeah, we still got people.
Let's go.
We still got people.
All right, Aiden, just take it away, brother. Let us get through these technical difficulties, my man.
Yeah, sure. All right. Can I share my screen?
What's that?
Am I good to share?
Yeah, good to go, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. What's going on, guys? Aiden Smith here coming at you. We're going to be talking about virtual assistants, guys. This is an extremely important thing that helped me and tons of my clients. I want to keep this chat open so I can see everything that's going on. First off, shout out to DripJobs, shout out to Tanner and his team. Eli, you guys always kill it with your events, and I appreciate you guys having me on. We're going to talk, like I said, something that has really helped me in my business as well as a lot of my clients as well. So we're going to help you finally get back your time and help you grow with virtual assistants. All right, guys. So I'll get right into like the intro about me. Just very quickly,